I'm sorry you're having tech issues. That seems like a you
It's
problem.
okay, I had to use my second email. Why
What?
is it asking me these questions?
Had to use your second email?
What is going the frick on?
I mean, I'm pretty sure you don't need an account to view it, unless they've changed
It
their
will not
policy.
let me on the website without logging in.
Not even on the website. That's pretty sus. You know what I mean?
You're pretty sus.
Hey! You're right.
Why is it asking
I
me
am pretty sus.
questions?
I don't need no questioning. That sounds like what you were
Ah,
saying right
what the
now.
heck? I just did log in. Why are you telling me to log in again? Ethan, help
I
me.
um
I'm so confused.
reboot.
What is going
Turn
on?
it off and on again.
Help.
What if I send you the actual like link to the specific chapter or something?
Okay, that's kind of what I was on before, but you can try.
Oh, it's doing the same thing to me.
Also, it's doing something to you?
It's doing the same thing to me. It's like, oh, sign in, and I'm like, bruh.
Isn't it weird?
It's annoying. That's what it is.
Okay, I have to check because I don't think
Because
my
I don't
stream will
want to
have the
sign
thumbnail
in.
or anything.
I will say that. I just don't feel like signing in. But there's no like X button. You're correct on that. Maybe I can get rid of it with my
Are
own.
you
What?
are you streaming on both channels?
I should be. Am I not?
I don't see it on mine.
Hmm.
Unless every website's just going crazy.
Well, maybe reload? It also might be in the live section instead of the. I don't know.
Oh, well, now I see it when I'm. Okay, I did reload. I guess I just have to fully go out and back in.
Hmm. Interesting.
Why is everything hating me today?
Why are you gay? Answer me
Who says I am gay?
that. You say you are gay. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Oh, da 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 da
EJ's action slash
da da
romance story with Dragons Part 3. He's not a furry, or is he?
da. Yeah,
Wait, what is going
I didn't
on?
know what the title. I was like EJ's furry dragon action romance comedy story. This is having that I wrote. I don't know what. How do I like make a concise title out of this? This is so long, and ridiculous. That's why I usually just go reading a thing I wrote or something. But it's weird because there's two separate people, two separate channels to make this title for, and it's got to work for both. So it's got to work for both your channel and my channel. So I can't say I. I have to say we or me or EJ specifically.
Yep.
We we are gay.
Okay. Oh. I don't know about that, but okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening. Anyway,
Okay, I think I fixed that.
good
Now
stuff.
let me pull up the stream chat and then try to freaking get Wattpad to work.
I know, I don't want to have to look up my password to sign into actual Wattpad.
Cactivus says,
That seems
"Did you hear
annoying.
what your sister said today?"
I saw a screenshot. She said the frick word. How
I
dare she?
did.
You
I
absolute.
couldn't resist because Silver said if the day that I dropped the F-bomb was the day that she would wake up feeling like she was in an alternate reality, so I had to.
Mm. So you retroactively made her feel like she woke up in an alternate reality.
Yes,
Wow, you changed the past. I think you're
I
a
did.
spooky, scary entity of another world.
Okay,
Um,
Wattpad, come on.
can I just like not sign in to this website though? Like, can I just read as a guest? What if I like open an incognito window? Is that?
Oh, how am I signed in now? What
It's
the heck?
probably not gonna work.
This is so confusing. What
Um,
even is this account I'm on?
oh,
Yeah, shut
please
up. Go away.
start reading. No, I don't want to log in. You absolute
Okay,
baloney
well, I
sandwich.
guess I logged in somehow.
Good for you. Now I gotta find my laptop. Now I gotta find my password on my laptop. Blech.
What chapter are we on?
I believe we finished 3 on both streams, so we should be on chapter 7 now? Maybe? I could be wrong. Maybe we, um, did one
I
more
remember
last
we
time.
stopped at the one that was crazy long.
There's a crazy long one? Oh
Oh,
boy.
yeah, I think this is the crazy long one.
I remember it being like Tempest or something.
It is, in fact, called Tempest.
Whoa, I have a brain every once in a while to remember like one fact and then it's gone after that. Yeah.
Cactus says we are gay, EJ 2023.
What? No. No, you've made quotes of me saying words.
Seb says, "What's up, F bomb?" Okay.
Oh my gosh, is that your
I
new
don't know why
nickname,
this is
McKay?
such a huge deal. What is
F-bomb
going
McKay.
on?
You've
Uh,
shocked the world with your heinous
Apparently,
crimes.
I said it and like five people immediately started typing. I was like, "Oh no."
Several people are typing.
Wait, I need to get like the link for my stream.
I
I'm
don't even have
losing
the
my
pot,
brain.
the password listed in a
The
nice little
pot?
form. That yes, I do read. I'm sorry. I gotta
Oh,
freaking
hi.
find on the stupid. I'm okay. I'm not angry at all that I have to sign into this website now. Makes me upsetty spaghetti. One moment. Eh, eh.
Are you
Sorry, this is
vomiting?
taking a bit of time. Yes, Mobius is vomiting. In the meantime, I will just expose all my DM secrets for everyone to view. It's all disorganized though, so nobody can find anything, including myself, so it's fine. Where is... Here, you can look at nice, beautiful images of me failing miserably at being an artist. There we go. That's Malthius. You can look at Malthius while we wait. I'm kidding. That's too bad. This isn't even Malthius. I'm not sure why, or like it's not even related. This is from a different campaign, so I'm not sure why this is there. I really need to organize all my D&D notes. It's an absolute disaster at this point. Someday I'll get to organization and stuff. We'll do this. Beautiful. Okay, password signing in. It's always amazing how.
Did we ever figure out how to say this person's name? Simar?
Uh,
Is it
I
Simar?
I said
Simar?
I said
Simar?
Seymour, and I don't know if he agreed with that or just made fun of the way I was pronouncing it, but that's what I've been going with.
Well, tell us how to say your name, because I will continue to question it otherwise.
Bloop.
Sam Wise says, hopefully this stream can make my day better than it already is. Sad face. Wait, that seems contradictory. Make it better than
Huh.
it already is, but you're sad about it, so it's not good.
I.
And you want it to be better, but you worded it so that it sounds like it was good.
It's okay. I'm sorry you're having a bad day. Slash, I'm glad you're having a good day. Slash, we will do our best to improve it.
Shimmer without the H, and I'm a girl. Oh, so it's Simmer, but without an M.
Oh! Wow, I not would have guessed that.
I not would have guessed that.
I'm so sorry. And I have to read after this. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I got to work today like 10 hours ago or something, and I started to realize quickly, man, I didn't just wake up tired from multiple days of lack of sleep. I think I might be sick. I've got like a fever developing or something. So I'm gonna be in like a fever dream haze of non-brain cell, and it's gonna be absolutely wonderful.
Great.
So if I pass out and die, don't worry about me. I'll just be dead. That's fine.
Cool.
Ah!
Yes, Coyote, we can see you. Sorry, there's was a lot of chat, but yeah, I see you. Seb says, "Oh, I am in Narrolina now." By the way,
Sweet Carolina. I'm sorry.
very much Pog.
Sweet
Yeah, apparently we might see you in the
Carolina.
mountains this week,
Bum,
but
bum,
I feel
bum.
like
Aw,
nothing is decided, so I
I'm
have no
jealous.
idea.
I want to see Cousin Seb. I want
Well,
to
there's
smell
also only
things.
like 2 bedrooms or something, so I don't know if you do want to come.
I can sleep on the floor. I've done it for years at a
Sleep
time.
on the floor. That's a song that I really like.
Whoa, that's amazing.
If anyone knows that song, you're cool.
I don't. I'm not cool.
You're not cool.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm not cool. Can I still be
Seb
on this
says my
stream?
dog still smells like weed. Why does she smell like weed
What,
again?
yeah, that's an what has she been doing lately?
Hello, Doodle Shroom. Not to be confused with
Oh,
Shroomy.
I see. They've added, it's like giving me a tutorial on these new coins or something. That's probably why they
That's
wanted
not
everyone to
new.
log in
The
now.
coins have been there.
Okay, well in that case they just want to close their corporate overlordness so that everyone has to pay to read or something. I don't know. Anyway, story would be good if I
Coyote says,
had
what's
prepared
that
all this
thing that
beforehand.
people wear if they're going into a toxic area? A
Gas
hazmat
mask?
suit? A gas mask?
Um, anti-toxic person cologne? I'm sorry.
Seb says she got skunked. Oh no. Poor
Oh
pupper.
no! Poor pupper. That's a rip. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Anyway, hello people, welcome to the stream. Interesting. Is Doodle Shroom someone that we don't know? Or is that like Shroomi's alternate channel? Or.
I don't think it's not Shroomy.
Okay,
I've seen them
interesting.
before on our previous streams, but
Gotcha,
I
okay.
feel like
I've been
they're a
bamboozled.
recent person. I haven't seen them in like the comment section or anything, I don't think. Unless I'm just forgetting.
Shimmer says, my neighbors smoke and it's very hot, so I need to keep the window open, so my room always smells like weed. Oh no, you're getting high by proxy. That's
Oh no.
unfortunate. Yike. Just like put a fan blowing out or the other way or something. I don't know. Coyote says, I was gonna make a joke about putting on one of those because EJ said he was sick. One of what's? I've already forgotten what we were talking about.
A hazmat suit
Ah, yeah.
or a
I
gas
mean, yeah.
mask.
Yeah, you can. That's probably wise.
Yeah, you
You
can.
never know when a virus might go from biological to digital to biological again. It might happen, especially if I like
What?
sneeze on the camera. You know, like
Oh, okay, I understand.
virus wordplay. I don't know. My brain is like, woo.
Doodle Shroom says, I'm not Shroomy lol, so
Okay,
you could
good.
say you're not named Shroomy.
You're not named Shroomy. What?
No, EJ for you.
I'm sorry, I'm not named Shroomy. What's happening? Mm.
I'm not named Shroomy. Oh, that makes me laugh. I'm
Me
laughing.
too. I also am laughing. Ah! It's gone. I've lost it.
What?
Should I change my background?
Hi, Ava. What are we reading? This is
Don't
Ethan's
really
story he
like.
wrote about his D&D character and how he met his wife. It's How I Met Your Mother, but D&D.
Except it's the wife's perspective of how
Oh
she met
yeah, it is.
him.
Yeah.
And she's
And
British for
she
some reason
thought
at this
that
point.
yeah, for some reason she's British. I don't really know why. Um and she met him and she hated him and she tried to kill him and then they got stuck together and she's like, "Okay, maybe he's not the worst person ever."
Yeah, give the recap for the story so that we can like
Okay,
have everyone be
recap
caught up. Those who
take
haven't been
2
here.
everyone. So, our main characters, Saphira, the woman
The
dragonborn,
woman.
Malthus, the male dragonborn. One is blue and one is yellow. I'll let you guess which is which because it should be fairly obvious based on the names. You see, Malthus was fighting some boys, and Saphira was all like, "Hey, I think he's a bad boy because he's fighting and trying to kill people, so I'm gonna try to kill him." So she freaking tried to stab him. But then he was like, "Yo, I'm not doing anything bad. I'm trying to keep the peace, bro." And she's like, "What? You're not a bad guy?" And he's like, "Nah, fam." And then they got kind of stuck together because they were running from like the evil magistrate boys because they're so bad. Um, and then they like ran into this house that like collapsed and like killed the parent of this little baby. So they had to pick up this baby and they're trying to keep it alive right now because it doesn't have any parents anymore. So they're like doing their best to like feed it and change it and like keep it alive, but none of them really know how to take care of babies, but they're trying their best. Um and then they got arrested because like they were out after curfew, so they got arrested and they were trying to like escape to this camp thingy where Saphira's family could be. If they're not dead, they could be dead, but they could be in like this camp where like people are taking moving people to get away from the oppressive magistrate boys. So they were trying to go there and then they got
For the
arrested.
magistrate.
And Saphira she like breathed sparks on a lock and then she kicked it trying to get out and then she burned her foot really badly, so she's kind of struggling to walk a little bit. Um and Malthus like got her out of prison and now they're
She's
like
had a
still on
long
the
rest
run
since then.
again.
She can walk again. She's fine.
Oh yeah, you're right. And the whole time that they're on this adventure, they're like, kind of roasting each other, but also kind of bantering, and like they're kind of growing on each other. And she like hated him for a while, but now she's like, okay, maybe he's not the worst person ever, but she's still not really sure because he's like not stealthy and he's kind of bad at like being like, a person like she is. Um,
What?
but
What does that
now
mean?
he's just bad.
He's
Um,
just bad at being a person like she is.
yeah.
He's like a lower life form. He's barely qualifying as being
And
sentient.
and now they were trying to escape again, like escape the city after they like found this person's house and rested in it and ate some food. They're trying to get out again, but then like some crazy woman was like chasing Saphira and she like how did the chapter end? She did something.
Oh, yeah, she
She
like
like
encountered a high level dude from the government, whatever, who had some weird like super powerful weapon that basically black hole annihilated a house, and she was like, "Bro, what the frick was that? Okay, I'm gonna take that weapon and run, I guess." After almost getting her ribcage crushed.
Oh yeah, so that did happen. So yeah, now she's running. And where's Malthus right now?
He took the baby because he was too noisy and bad at stealth, so he just kind of, she just said, "Hey, you go run to the wall and I'll meet up with you." And he's like, "Okay, you sure you don't want help?" And she's like, "No, I'm fine." Proceeds to get her ribs almost crushed.
Oof, love that.
hmm
So yeah, that's where we're at right now, and let's see what the chat said.
So basically, she needs a man. I'm joking.
Oh, ho, ho,
She
ho,
needs the
ho,
Mary
ho.
Sue guy who accomplishes everything in the background to do it for her. I'm kidding. I'm so sexist. um,
One time my dad had something cooking in a crock pot and I was on call with a friend and my friend was also cooking and I thought I could smell what he was cooking through the phone.
that's funny.
Hello, Sunstorm.
Sunstorm.
Sev says, Ethan, do you have any thoughts on Michaela absolutely nuking the meme channel with her profanity?
um, yes. Um, I don't. I'm gonna try to keep this stream PG though, so I don't know how much I can talk about it.
But what are your thoughts, Ethan?
I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it, but it was funny. She saw an opportunity for a meme and she went for it. It's whatever. I mean, people can do what they want to. It's not a big deal. Why on
Yeah,
earth?
we just had a conversation in the group chat a while ago about how we don't think that swearing is that big of a deal.
Yeah, we had a whole discussion about it in the squad chat of Shroomy, me, and McKay and Kat, and also Silver, I guess. So it wasn't the squad of
No,
four.
it
It
wasn't
was.
that group chat.
Was it not? Oh, you're right.
It was
Okay.
just the four of us.
I can't remember things. Why on earth would you name a couple Ian and how's it spelled? Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I was a 16-year-old. You know, we make all kinds of bad
Ian and
decisions.
Ia. Yeah, that's so bad.
It was. It's okay. EJ's just best for trying to be pure. I'm better
Oh,
than
Seb says
McKay. You heard
it
it
was
here first
really funny.
on
Oh,
McKay's
thank you,
channel.
Seb. I didn't know that it would be that funny. I just
Thanks.
I thought it would be kind of funny, but
One time I swore, and my friend texted saying, "Our baby's growing up." Wow,
oh.
that's funny, chaotic glitch. I get not caring too much about swearing. Oh, yeah, I see. I did the wrong cadence on that, but I get it. Megan really
Megan
carried
really
the Spider-Verse vid, says Starlight.
she did, that's correct.
That's
Because
funny.
Shroomy had COVID, so he wasn't talking very much. And I, as you could see in the video, I was losing my mind before the movie even started. And you know what happens when like you're going
Like me
crazy and
now,
then you
because I
kind of
have
crash
fever.
and then you don't say as much? I think that's what happened to me. So
hmm
yeah, it was basically down to Megan and Ethan, and Megan was, she was being pretty funny.
I mean, swearing is a sin. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily true. Um, there's different verses that talk about things that are close to it, but just necessarily the bad words themselves. I don't know. It's kind of a great area, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
don't think it's very like black and white.
It's not really a big deal. If you're like insulting someone, that's definitely, you shouldn't do that because you should be loving to people. But if you're just like you stub your toe and you say, "Ah, ship high in transit," expressing upsetness, I mean, you're allowed to be angry and do not sin, you know what I mean? So clearly there's a distinction between, just showing your outrage and being sinful in that outrage. So, there's some distinction that should be made. I don't know where the line is, but I guess everyone has to kind of make
Yeah,
that
and
line for
it's like
themselves.
if swearing was a sin, then like it would be so confusing because like everyone has a different threshold of what they think is like appropriate language. Like
That's
some
true.
people don't even think that you should say crap.
Yeah, like
And
me.
like,
I don't want to say that one, but that doesn't
oh
mean
really?
I think it's sinful for someone else to say it. I'm not gonna like freak out about it. Yeah, I
So
mean,
like
I
there's
don't like
no
saying it because
way.
it's still considered rude by some people. So may as well
Hmm.
not say that one too. That's my opinion on it, but that doesn't mean
Okay,
that
clearly I'm a Christian.
I'm not
That's
gonna
pretty
like get
opinionated.
on people and be like, "How dare you say that? How dare you say that on my Christian stream there, McKay?" It's not, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm just saying that like everyone has a different opinion on what they think is like quote unquote a bad word or not, and it constantly changes with culture as well, because like, certain words like used to be bad that aren't anymore, or like vice versa. And so if it was a sin, it would be like just difficult to like determine where the line was or anything. Um, and like I don't want people to twist my words and say like, "Oh, what's a sin changes with the culture," because people can take that out of context and use that
Mm.
for other sins that are clearly defined in the Bible. But I'm just saying that the Bible doesn't like talks specifically about like bad words. It says like, oh, don't let like profane talk come out of your mouth, but that could also mean like, putting people down and being terrible to people and like, that kind of language. So don't think that I'm saying that like what is a sin changes with the culture because I don't think it does. I think that the Bible defines what's a sin um back in Jesus's time and today. But yeah, I'm saying that that's why maybe I don't think that this is a sin because it would be incredibly hard to know what it is because the Bible doesn't give you a list of like words that are bad and words that aren't. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense?
Yeah, I think there's some elements to which Christians have, in the modern day, have kind of Phariseeitized that whole notion, like added extra rules onto it a little
Yeah.
bit and said, oh yeah, these are the lines that you cannot cross or you will be guilty of an unforgivable sin, whereas the Bible is more like, giving guidelines and then you can expand those guidelines and like think about the logical consequences between like, oh, if I love my neighbor, I should not, swear at them and say these things. But there's also, you know, a line to be drawn. And to some extent, if you like, say you're there's someone who's swearing a lot and you're like trying to reach out to them and be a friend to them. Um, Paul talks about you can be all things to all people to try to reach them and show them kindness.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like hanging out with them, it's not really like you can kind of participate in some things as long as it's not like sin for you. I'm like bullet pointing and summarizing, and my brain is feverishly
Mm-hmm.
tired. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, like there's that other passage in the Bible, I forget where it is, where it's talking about like, oh, like for the Jewish people it was like a sin to not eat or to eat certain types of meat because that was like the Old Testament law.
hmm
But then when Jesus came, he was like, "Hey, now it's fine because I fulfilled the law, so you don't have to like worry about your diet anymore." But some people still have that conviction because they grew up that way and they're like, "Oh, it feels like a sin if I eat this meat because like for so long I grew up and like it was a sin." So like they still feel like they're sinning. And so Paul was like, "Hey, like if you're gonna like eat meat in front of people and it makes them like it causes them to stumble and make them feel convicted and like they're sinning, then like don't do that in front of people. Like you can do it on your own time if you don't feel convicted about eating meat. So it's kind of the same for me with swearing. Like I personally don't even do it much, but like I wouldn't do it in front of someone who like in person. Online it's different because you can't control who sees your stuff or whatever. But like in person, I wouldn't go around like swearing in front of someone who did think it was a sin and felt uncomfortable with that. Because like I don't want to like if it does feel like a big deal to them, I don't want to like make them feel convicted and weird about it.
I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but it's going by real fast now. Hi, Alex Myers. Welcome to the stream. Play.
Starlight Silver says, "I'm not risking language, but the real problem is when you take God's name in vain." Yeah, that's
Yes,
what we were
that is
talking about. We
specifically
were
one of the
like,
Ten Commandments. So yeah,
yeah.
that's.
So like I feel like it's way worse to say like, to take the Lord's name in vain than to say a swear word because as I said the Bible does not list out like specific words that are bad or not, but it does say don't take my name in vain, so we can conclude that that is in fact worse.
hmm hmm Anyway, there's a long and interesting discussion to be had about that. Uh, I don't know if I have the brain power to cover it all. Let's see here. What have I missed? Do you have Saphira
I'm
and
like
Malthy?
skimming through it right now trying to look for anything that's like
Justice the Wolf Child coughed with the voice. Huh?
Hi Isla, I don't know if I said hi to you.
I started watching the edgy book you made as a 16-year-old. I thought it was hilarious. Great. I'm glad you liked
Haha.
it.
Oh
What's your favorite
boy.
character? I hope it's Clyde Parker.
Clyde Parker.
uh,
Simmer says, let's all agree slurs are something we should not say, though. Yeah, that's kind of a different
well, yeah, that automatically
category, because
is
that's,
disparaging someone. So yeah,
yeah, it's
that's
automatically
not good.
hurtful,
hmm
so yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
different.
hmm let's see. Going on a Tennessee trip today. Ooh, cool. Fun stuff. Um,
Y'all are saying the things I've been thinking about lately, even the sin of scandal stuff. What does scandal stuff mean?
No idea. I say crepe without the E around a
Grape.
child once and realized I'd gone too far. Yeah, one time we were I remember as a kid, one time Sis and I we were like maybe 7 or something, and we hung out with this other family um with like I don't know if they were like missionaries or something, but they were like, similarly raised Christian or whatever. And I said, "Ah, shut up, video game that's making noises that I didn't want it to make." Like it was just like beep beep beep, and I'm in the background, and I turned over to the computer. I'm like, "Ah, shut up, computer game," and they were all like, "Oh, oh," and I'm like, what? Is that not something that people say around your part of the? Okay, sorry. Whoops, my bad. But they acted like I had just like blown up the planet. I was like,
Oh
I'm sorry.
no.
Wow. So that kind of made me realize, okay, I should be more careful about what I say. Because other people have different standards than I do. Um,
Vertex says, worse, I thought all sins were equal. I may have misremembered. Well, I was just saying that, like,
yeah,
since I don't necessarily think that swearing is a sin, that's why I was saying that taking the Lord's name in vain is worse because we know for a fact that that is. Um, and like to an extent, sins are equal because once you make one sin, then like you're kind of guilty of all the sins. That's what the Bible says. Like if you break part of the law, you're guilty of breaking all the law. But I mean, there obviously are some like human distinctions between sins. Like if you tell a lie, then like that's different than killing someone. There is kind of differences. And like once
not
you
in the
do any sort of
effect of like the consequences for them, but
yeah,
it's the natural consequences in reality, like in our world. Like if you kill someone, that's a way bigger deal in terms of how much impact it has on others than if you just say a swear word.
yeah, yeah, but Ethan's right that like the consequences are still the same because like if you sin at all, then you know you deserve death and punishment, but then there's still the same level of forgiveness for every sin. Like if you accept Jesus, then you'll be equally forgiven whether you killed someone or told a lie. So like it's, kind of nuanced. Sins are the same in God's eyes, but then also some definitely hurt people a lot more than other ones, you know?
hmm Samwise says saying, I consider saying, "Oh my Lord," saying the Lord's name in vain. I would disagree personally, but that's just my conviction. So this is kind of going back to the thing with, Paul saying, or whoever it was, Peter maybe, whatever you were saying earlier, that people can have different convictions about what they think is, the line. So something completely innocent, like just any generic thing, like say going to the grocery store. If you are a person and you feel like the Lord has, kind of commanded you or told you or made it clear to you in some way that you're not supposed to go to the grocery store today, this is a completely normal thing. Going to the grocery store is not a sin in normal circumstances. But if you feel like going to the grocery store is a sin for whatever reason, like you would be disobeying the Lord, and you go to the grocery store anyway, even though the act of going to a grocery store is just a whatever thing, if you disobey the Lord as you're doing it, then that's a sin. So, but for someone else who hasn't had that, commandment from the Lord that divinely came down and the Lord said, "Don't go to the grocery store today," someone else going to the grocery store, it'd be fine for them. So even the same action can be, a sin or not a sin depending on like the circumstances in different cases. So for me, I would say, "Oh my Lord," just being surprised. I would call it as me actually calling out to the Lord, like, "Oh my goodness, wow," like not even necessarily like using the Lord's name to curse something, but I'm like, "Oh, surprised by the circumstances that the Lord has created," and I don't know, just kind of calling out to God in my surprise. It doesn't really, have any meaning or impact, but I wouldn't say it's, being used in a negative way or like blaspheming the name of the Lord. So I don't think it falls into the category of breaking that commandment when I say such things, because I know I say that kind of thing a lot. But someone else, like Samwise, who thinks, "Oh, I should be careful about what I say," maybe if you said it, it would be a sin because you're like, "Oh, I really don't want to, take the Lord's name in vain," so you're taking it to a very, very rigid extreme, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, then yeah, that's fine. I would say totally follow those rules and stick to them. But it's okay for each of us to kind of have our own, distinction as long as we follow what we think is right. And I mean, this is again one of those things where it's not the most impactful thing in the world, so it's okay to have a little bit of a gray area. Whereas something like, murder is definitely more of a, oh, yeah, there's no gray area there. Just don't do that. No, there's
Yeah.
no argument. Just don't do that.
Swagger says, "Hey, I'm curious. Are you Catholics, Protestants, or maybe even Mormon? I'm personally raised Southern Baptist, so a version of Protestantism. Yeah, we were also raised Southern Baptist, but now I go to a non-denominational church. Ethan, what's your church?"
I don't know. Also, non nom 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 la
Yeah,
nom
no,
nom
no, no, no,
not
no,
do
no, no.
do 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 do.
So yeah, we were raised Southern Baptist, but we're not like completely like we have to be Southern Baptist. It's like we're just Christian, Protestant,
Honestly, the
that kind of
Baptist
thing.
churches we went to weren't even all that Baptisty, were
Yeah, we're
they?
definitely not
They
like
were just
super
kind of
Baptist.
like
Like I know some people are like,
churches.
oh,
I don't
some
know.
Baptists are like, you can't drink at all or you can't dance or something. Like it was never like that. It was just like, that was
Hmm.
just the label was Baptist.
Hmm. Non-demon denominational. Oh no.
Non even, yeah.
I know I read even that wrong, but that's what my brain dyslexic it as. Uh,
Vertex says, if you think about it, most swearing and insults are so by comparison or metaphor. In many cases, I think that the word itself isn't necessarily the issue, but the use, because any word can be an insult. Yeah, that's what I was saying on
yeah.
Discord, because
Hmm.
Ethan, for you weren't there, but we were talking about this on my Discord for a long time a couple days ago.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, like you can use a number of words to insult someone,
You
and
absolute
that
tennis ball.
exactly, you have the tennis ball, you look like a bell pepper. Those kind of things you can use to insult people. So like, but then, so like, I honestly feel like that would be worse if you went up to someone and said like, "Oh, you smell so bad, I hate you." You didn't use any bad language, so I honestly, but you still like insulted that person. So I feel like that would be worse than just saying like, "Oh, ship high in transit" if you hurt yourself, you know?
Hmm. Dad used to say pineapple can be used as an insult if you try really hard. Yep, even
Yeah.
pineapple. Good stuff.
Shroomy and Ethan are very good at coming up with inanimate objects to use as insults. You look like a bell pepper. Why is that so funny?
I'm not sure how I feel about this mess that I've created on my desktop. I was trying to change my desktop from that like random tent in the wilderness because I've had it that way since I reinstalled Windows, and I wanted it to change to something, but this just feels a little like it's not cropped correctly. It's not very aesthetically pleasing. It makes it hard to find the icons. Eh, but I'm too lazy
Wait,
to
I have a
change it right now.
question.
What?
How did Malthus's daughters come out red and silver if he's yellow and she's blue?
According to the actual like lore of D&D, that probably shouldn't be possible because I think they're supposed to be like the same as one of the two parents, but I'm going based on more of a like recessive genetics type idea because Malthus's father was red and Saphira's father is like white or silver or something, I forget. So
Saphira's father is silver?
no, not that silver. Anyway, so I was figuring, it can skip a generation. Who cares? It's just for the fun of it. Um, yeah, I didn't really think about it all that hard. I don't think when I made up the colors of the children, honestly. And honestly, I feel so bad because I think I told Stu one thing, and then I changed it on him by accident because I misremembered what I had chosen. So he was like, "Oh yeah, you named this daughter Rose, right?" And I'm like, "No, it's Ruby." And I'm like, "Wait, I'm stupid. I thought that Ruby was a used up name because it was McKay's
So
guinea pig.
you
So
really
it
used
should have been
Ruby and Rose.
I
Silver would flip out if she was here.
I don't know. I've completely ruined everything. Um, Long story short, I talk too much and I don't know what I'm saying anymore. We have not
Yeah, we
read the
just talked
story
for
at
so
all.
long
It's
about swearing
been
and we have not even read the
30
story.
minutes. Yeah. We're gonna be here a while. Who knows how many chapters we'll get through this time.
Yeah, this one is incredibly long, so we'll
Is
see.
it really? Oh man.
Yes, my little thing says it will take an hour to read.
How many does it tell me how many words are in this story? Like is there a way to see the word count?
I think so. I don't know about specific chapters.
I want to know the whole thing though. Story
Vertex
details?
says it's funny when you use a metaphor and say something weird like you look like a cloud and leave it to interpret as good or bad. That's funny.
What's all this?
Starlight
Oh, I
says I got
forgot
a
I'm logged
package
in now.
today. I'm gonna make a Batgirl costume because I got because the pattern came. Ooh, that's fun.
15
Coyote says no
parts.
one's looking at chat. I could say whatever I want.
It's an
No, I'm
8-hour
looking.
read. We're looking every once in a while. Just can't catch every message because there's a lot of chat. I don't see how to do it. This makes me sad.
It
Very
turns you
sad.
Russian if you don't see how to
It
do it.
make me Russian. Hmm.
Oh, Silver said on Discord, no, I'm missing the stream. No.
What? um.
Because she's in Texas.
Right. Well, why can't she watch in Texas?
I don't know. Maybe
Hmm.
she's out somewhere. I don't know
Uh,
why I started talking like a Texan when I said the word Texas.
bottom of the page. Look for the stacks section. Hmm. I don't see a stats section. What the heck? Maybe if I read for more than 5 seconds. Uh.
Can't you just like... Hmm. I
Uh.
thought there was a way to do it.
Thought there was a way to do it. Maybe there is. Click on the story you want to check the word count for. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, look for the stats section. In the stats section, you'll see the number of reads, votes, comments. Um. Uh.
Are
Why?
you confused, EA?
Uh-huh. A little bit.
Well, that's too bad, isn't it?
Hey, don't make fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you.
Okay. As long as you're not, then that's fine.
I'm
Are you okay?
laughing.
Don't laugh at me.
I will laugh at you.
Why are you laughing at me?
Why are we so southern?
What? What the heck? How do I? Okay, I give up. It's not worth it. I know that it's a long thing. If I remember, which I really, really can't guarantee that it's anywhere close, but I wanted to say either the whole thing or one part was 95,000 words. I can't remember which. Whichever makes more sense is probably accurate.
Yeah, I don't think that would be one part because
Okay.
my entire cringe Maze Runner story was like 87,000 words. So,
Hmm. So it might be the whole thing, but also that might not have been it might not have been complete at that time when I actually did it in the word count because I think I had it in like in a different
I
software
think
before posting it on this
that many words
site.
is like it could be an actual book, I think.
I think I may have gone overboard with this. This is only meant to be a short little backstory thing. I got carried away.
Well,
Well, ship high in transit. Even
Swagger
though
says after watching the edgy book streams, I found a video called "Every Edgy Protagonist." I wanted to link it here because I think it's funny, but there's curse words in the video. Is that okay? You can link it. It's just
the.
I don't know if we're gonna see it because the chat is going fast and we'll be reading. But if you want to,
Yeah, it would be
um,
better to send it somewhere other than the stream chat. I'm definitely not going to click it right now while I'm
yeah,
doing
you can
this,
send it on
so
Discord
Discord
or
is a better
I saw
option.
your comment from earlier, but I didn't reply yet. You could comment it. Um, yeah,
hmm
because we probably won't see it if you just put it in chat. But you still could if you wanted other people to see it.
hmm Um, who who is Shimmer talking about? Oh, Rayla cosplay. Gotcha. Love baking. Oh yeah, that reminds me of the baking series McKay and I did. Sad we won't be able to
Baking
do
is
that again for
protecting.
a while.
Oh yeah, good times. You were
95,000 words. That it might even be more. I don't know, man, or maybe less. I don't know. It's just kind of a rough estimate. We can always find out later if I go in and copy it and all and put it in a thing. It was so long to put it in perspective. You know the Notes app on your Mac, like the built-in Notes app, and
yes.
if you just put in text and it gets really really long. It got so long that when all 15 parts were in it, it lagged that program almost to the point of crashing.
Oh
So
no.
I had to split it up into each individual section in the Notes app.
Wow.
So I guess that'll tell you something about how long this is.
Man,
Anyway,
I want to write something, but
do it. I want to
I
write
don't.
something too. I just want to finish reading this so I can remember this story, and then I'll write
I
another
don't
thing.
have ideas for what to write though. At least nothing more than like
Hmm.
little short things, you know.
Well, write something short then. Just practice that muscle. Have some fun with it.
I don't know what to write that's not like a fan fiction, which is kind of
Shimmer
cringe.
says, "Ah, I am the smell of my room."
What does that mean?
I don't know. I have not seen the context. I saw that message and thought it was funny. Mm.
I said Shimmer, that arcane drug, and Simmer said, "Oh, OMG, I'm a drug."
Okay. Anyway, so we've recapped the story. Then we had a long, long rant about various things that did not matter. Now let's get into the reading.
Simmer
Uh,
says, "Stop calling me Shimmer, bro. He can't help it. He's
what?
dyslexic, but with his mouth."
I thought she said she is Shimmer, but without the
Shimmer
A's.
without the H.
I thought
Simmer.
that's how they wanted it pronounced. I thought that's what they were saying. Is that not what they wanted? Do they want to be called Seymour?
No, Simmer, but I think
Oh.
they're saying that you keep saying Shimmer by accident.
No, I did. I've started doing that intentionally because she said it was like Shimmer without the H, and I thought that meant she wanted to be called Shimmer, but she
What?
just didn't
How
put the
would
H in
Shimmer
there.
without the
I
H?
don't know.
Ethan, what?
What?
This word without the H doesn't mean you leave the H in
I
there.
didn't hear the full context of that statement. All I heard was, I, we had just talked about the pronunciation of it, and then I heard that, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess so, if you say so.
I'm so confused.
So what is the proper way to pronounce your name?
Simmer.
They say I'm a girl. Yeah, I know that now. I know I heard that in the same message as the my name is Shimmer without the H. I'm a girl. Well, so how do you want me to pronounce it though? Shimmer without the H. So
Could you possibly not know what that means?
what?
How could you possibly not know? They're telling you how they want you to pronounce it.
Well, then why wouldn't they just say pronounce it Simmer?
Because that could be misinterpreted. I don't know. Maybe they
How could that be
don't know what the word
misinterpreted?
simmer means.
Oh my goodness. I'm
You
gonna have an
genuinely
aneurysm.
See, I'm saying it right. McKay is saying it right.
Okay. So simmer. All right. I'm just gonna, take a brief moment, go on vacation, and then come back nice and refreshed.
Have a long
Tempest,
rest.
chapter 7. Yeah, fixes all injuries.
Oh boy.
Am I gonna read it or are you gonna read?
You
Who talks
said
first? You
Tempest.
talk?
I
Yeah.
thought you were starting.
Saphira panted heavily through her shirt as she dragged herself to the rendezvous point. Her arms burned as she carried the heavy cannon, and she had a painful stitch in her chest where her ribs had been nearly crushed. Every breath she drew made her lungs feel like they were collapsing and sent sharp pains shooting into her heart. Her head was
Some good
spinning.
lump.
Oh no! Her head
We
was
are the same person.
her head was spinning, feeling like she couldn't get enough air no matter how deeply she inhaled. She couldn't keep going like this much longer. Saphira finally slowed her pace, trying to catch her breath. Her vision was blurry. Face and she cares what you think. Sorry. Her vision was blurry and she felt close to passing out, and her mind was reeling, replaying the last few minutes over and over again in her mind. Another moment or two of being crushed and she could have been gone. Not just from the fight, not knocked down. She would have been dead. And all the time Saphira had spent as a guard, she'd had some tough scrapes and embarrassing defeats, but never before has she ended up so powerless, completely at the mercy of such a cruel adversary. How could this have happened? Surely there was something different she could have done? Surely her fate had not been decided by a last-minute lucky escape? Surely there was more to life than falling to the roll of a
Oh my
dice.
gosh.
Uh,
I see what you
just
did
I
there.
can't help but go, hey, I'm just doing the D&D references, lol. Like
Wow.
generating the story with D&D. Anyway, surely there was more to separate life and death than a delicate balance of natural forces already in motion. Surely there was more meaning to death than the random hand of chance. Or was death simply the silence that inevitably called all things to stillness? What was death like? Where would she be if she hadn't made it? Would she still be a motionless corpse beneath the foot of the crazy knight in black armor, feeling nothing and knowing nothing? Would it be nothing more than an endless sleep? Would it hurt, simply feeling the pain of death until fading away out of all memory? Or would she wake up peacefully in a grassy meadow, her family around her? If her family were with her, perhaps it would have been worth it. Saphira shook her head, trying to clear her thoughts and hold on to the fact that her family might still be alive, despite her wavering hope. She continued to walk slowly, trying to let her racing mind rest, though she could feel her blood throbbing in her temple as her stress remained. Groaning, Saphira decided to set down the giant cannon for a moment and lean against it for support, trying to relax as she drew each ragged breath. In the moment of stillness, Saphira took an opportunity to listen for pursuers. You want to take over for a bit?
Okay.
Just for
No.
funsies?
Nothing. No sounds other than the wind still tearing through every street in the city, bringing ash and smoke along in its wake and progressively worsening the thick clouds of dust in the air. It had been easy to escape the soldiers by slipping into the dense haze. It had not been easy, however, to lug a giant heavy blast cannon along with her while still being sneaky. Now I just feel like Malthius when he walks every day of his life. The gun was large, almost as thick as Saphira's waist, and it was cumbersome to carry. It seemed mostly made of metal with some kind of crystal mechanisms inside. There were also several buttons and handles on the outside, along with the glowing orange vents. Saphira had no idea how to use it, let alone whether she had the strength to aim it in the right direction, but at least Storm the Black Knight no longer had it. Saphira froze for a moment, thinking she'd heard something behind her. She cautiously turned to look down the street, squinting against the particulate-ridden air. It was hard to see more than 50 feet away at this point, and Saphira's eyes were watering as the wind whistled past her face and hurled small bits of brick dust and ash into her eyelashes. She had to resist the urge to sneeze as she. Sorry, I don't know why that was funny.
I
She's
just
just
have
like
an
a
urge
video
to
game
sneak!
character. You press a key and she starts sneaking.
So we'll press shift.
Yeah. She had to resist the urge to sneeze as she blinked determinedly, her eyes darting around to look at her obscured surroundings. There was nothing of note, simply an empty street enveloped by a grey fog that was thick enough to cut with a knife. Even the ground itself had a layer of soot and grime upon it, which was being blown around and looking like a layer of dirty snow on the ground. Saphira sighed and turned back, slightly unnerved by the eerie atmosphere and darkened sky. It was probably still mid-afternoon, but the cloudy sky felt more akin to twilight. It was also hard to tell if she was going the right way to reach her destination, but she stuck to her gut instinct and decided to continue traveling towards her best guess. After a moment of rest, Saphira's vision began to clear, her heartbeat slowed, and her breathing began to become less labored. She still felt tired, and she could feel her mind continuing to freak out in the back of her head, but at least now she felt less like a limp noodle that was about to collapse. Saphira leaned down again, hefting the large cannon back into her arms while inwardly grumbling about how heavy it was. Garden of Life ad, a doctor formulated to empower her gut instincts.
Starlight says, "Why is
Um,
Saphira so worried about family? Mal and Wolf Baby are fine." Tiger Baby,
Wolf,
but
baby.
yeah. Wolf Baby
I have one
works.
question. Why is she holding a cannon?
That is because their plan is to get outside of the city walls. Apparently, they hadn't thought about using a grappling hook, or maybe there's guards on top of the wall or something. I don't know, but they needed a way to get through the walls, and big old cannon seems like a good idea. So she stole it, and she's running with it. That's about it. Uh,
Yeah.
Her travel felt strange, as though she was walking alone through an endless void, and the only world that existed was the small stretch of street ahead of her and behind her, while the rest of the world was swallowed up in a swirling storm of mystery. The only sounds were the buffeting wind in her ears and her muffled footsteps on the dust-covered stone streets. She almost felt like she was a spectator to her own body, witnessing someone else's life as they walked through a cursed mist. She could see herself from somewhere far away as she floated into the buried thoughts still crying for attention in the back of her mind. She was barely paying attention to the monotonous landscape around her as she floated in a black void, falling, falling. Saphira's head suddenly snapped back up after having involuntarily drooped for a second. The newfound panic brought her back to reality and gave her a small shock of adrenaline to revitalize her senses. She looked around again, listening for enemies. Still no one. Still nothing. Still just nondescript houses on a well-kept but dust-covered street. Still just dust swirling in an endless street. Saphira pulled her shirt back up to that. So, I'm gonna try that again. Saphira pulled her shirt back up to cover her nose and mouth after her droop had caused it to fall. She
That'll
suddenly
be a problem. She pulled her skirt up to cover her nose and mouth.
well, just massive wedgie.
Skirts can't possibly give you a wedgie. Wait, unless you're using the back of it to pull it up.
Just like cartoonishly flips 100 like 360 flips.
Oh no.
She suddenly felt a pang of uncertainty, wondering if she was going the wrong way after all. Perhaps she had wandered into the enemy territory, and when the fog cleared, she would be found and captured once again. Perhaps she was the only one left in the entire city, and she had stumbled into a magical world of lost spirits and devils. Maybe she would reach the place where she was supposed to meet Malthius, but he would not be there, and she would be alone again, with no idea where to find her family, if they were even still alive.
Oh, sorry. I have to be British.
You don't
Dang
have
it,
to
why
be
did I
British. She
not
didn't
ask
start
him
British.
for more details about where to find the citizens outside the city walls in case we got separated? Saphira cursed herself inwardly. She then jumped in fear, sure she had seen the sneering face of Storm lurking in the mist. Her heart began beating faster as she looked around, eyes straining to make out shapes in the distant nothingness. Her chest continued to complain as she turned slightly, still clutching, yep, the cannon to
What?
her front. That wasn't real. My mind is playing tricks on me. There's no way that lady is in front of me, is there? Saphira began retracing her steps in her head from the last several hours. Malthus had gone north up a street, and Saphira had gone south. Then she'd gone through the house and come out the other side and run off to the north. She had gone the right way, she was sure of it, and yet she had been traveling a little longer than she'd been expecting, and she had found nothing and no one. She bit her lip behind her improvised dust mask, trying to resist the urge to call out to someone, anyone, just to confirm she hadn't fallen off the face of the earth.
She's losing her
Finally,
mind.
she.
Too much trauma.
Oh no! Finally, she began to hear the faint sounds of armored footsteps in the haze around her. Ironically, the sounds of nearby enemies was the most comforting sound she'd heard all day. Vera heaved a sigh of relief and rolled her shoulders, readying herself to leap back into the thick of it. Her chest immediately felt like it was being stabbed by flaming knives, causing her to stop short and grimace, but she managed to keep her grip on the gun. Saphira slowly, carefully let out a breath, clenching her teeth and trying to ignore the pain as she contemplated how to approach the unseen guards. She slipped towards the side of the street, and slowed her gait, trying to. What's her gait doing, running away? Sorry, what? Trying to sneak up carefully without being spotted. The marching feet sound elevated as though on a wall or a watchtower in front of her. There weren't too many from the sound of things. Then again, she could only count the sounds of the soldiers that were moving. This was likely the perimeter guard, the gateway to the rest of the city, and freedom beyond. Saphira decided to slink off of the main street. She is sneaking into a small alley between two houses, planning her next move. The wind followed her, gusting through like a wind tunnel and sending miniature tornadoes of ash kicking around her ankles. She closed her eyes and waited for a moment, holding her breath as the wind whipped past. Her chest ached and she resisted the urge, not the earth, the urge to exhale, and her closed eyes gave
Sea
her
urchin.
nothing to just nothing to distract from the swirling clouds in her own mind. I cannot wait to get out of here and take a warm bath, Saphira sighed, tiredly wishing this awful day was over already. When the wind calmed down a bit, Saphira opened her eyes, seeing several flakes of dust caught in her eyelashes. She stomped her feet and shook herself off a little, causing her tail to carve a small trail in the powder on the ground, while small clouds of dirt and dust flew off her clothes. The wind immediately sent the small airborne stain flying down the alley away from her to mix with the rest of the grimy air. Vera groaned and looked down at herself, feeling like she would never get clean. Okay, I will look at chat.
I have an important question. Is there a car chase in this story? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know.
When is the villain going to hold a ball where Saphira and Mal need to go so they can spy and Saf can unwillingly wear a dress? Exactly.
What does that mean? Is that
Exactly.
is that a Ruby reference?
No, it's just like, the trope of like, oh, they have to infiltrate a ball, so she has to wear a dress, and then he's gonna see her and be like,
Oh.
oh, she's so pretty, and she's gonna be like, I hate this, but then he's gonna fall in love with her.
Oh,
Bonus
that.
points if they're like
Okay.
forced to dance together.
Gotcha. I thought the sad part is when I read that the first time, I thought they meant literally the villain is holding a ball, and I'm like, a crystal ball? Like, what kind of? Why are they holding a ball? What does that mean?
Yes,
I get it
exactly.
now. I understand. Uh, Wait, how would they know what it feels like to get stabbed by flaming knives? I was thinking the same thing.
Plot twist, they live in hell.
Gasp! Plot twist. This whole story turns out to be a long dream. Whoa, no.
Plot twist, Saphira is actually dead.
Oh no! And Mal is the main character. Well, he is the character that I play in the D&D.
But
At
he's the
least,
one who's dead.
yeah. Well, at least right now. Maybe someday I'll
He's
finish
he's
that story.
dead right now, guys.
Well, not. Okay, time is an illusion when you're playing in a world outside of time and space. You know what I mean? Uh,
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Stuff. Yes.
Yep.
Um, Good stuff. Uh, is it
Uh,
my turn? Ah,
yeah.
yes, she has dust in between every scale she has. As she peered around the giant cannon in her arms to look down, she also noticed several disturbances in the dust on the ground farther down the alley. She squinted at them curiously from a distance, then turned back to look at her own footprints on the dusty ground. Each small crater from her feet was quickly being filled in and smoothed out by the swirling ash and dust, but was still noticeably inconsistent with the overall layer of dust. Saphira took a few steps further down the alley to take a closer look at these other anomalies. They looked very similar in shape, most likely footprints as well, before they were covered up and filled in. However, these footprints were a fair amount larger than Saphira's, both in width and in length. Saphira smirked, guessing she knew what that meant. She
A
carefully...
boy.
Yes, it's the
Whoa, I'm so
boy. She
smart.
carefully followed the trail of footprints farther away.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
My nose is whistling as I breathe. I don't know if you can hear it.
I cannot.
She carefully followed the trail of footprints farther away from the sounds of armored footsteps and occasional casual remarks until those sounds faded away entirely, and Saphira found her way to a dilapidated building at the edge of the magistrate perimeter. That is a lot of big words. The building looked like it had... Oh, sorry, it reminded me of a reference. I'm just laughing at myself.
You're just so giggly
I'm,
today.
I'm having a great time. The building looked like it had once been some kind of shop before its roof had caved in and turned the building into little more than 4 weak walls around a pile of rubble. The large footprints led directly to the bottom of a small slope of gravel and then disappeared. Saphira took a deep, pained breath, leaning back and heaving the cannon into a sturdy grip as she began to step forward onto the unstable incline.
Malthius? She whispered towards the top of the pile, where a smashed window allowed ash and dust to blow through. Are you in there? She called out softly as her feet sank into the dirty mess and slid a small distance back down the slope with every step, causing small clatters of stones. After a few moments, Malthius poked his head out from behind the dilapidated wall, still with his shirt pulled over his mouth and nose to help prevent him breathing in half the city's shattered stonework.
Thank goodness you made it, Malthius replied, sounding like he was smiling below his air filter. Uh, I heard the horn and wondered if you'd be able to get out before the whole city came running.
Of course I made it. I always make it, Saphira grunted, still sliding down the incline and stumbling her way forward with the giant cannon in her arms. Malthius' eyes grew wide upon catching sight of it.
What is that?
Hopefully I'll take it out of here.
That looks even bigger than the standard heavy artillery. Where'd you find that?
Let's just say I picked a fight with someone a bit out of my league, Saphira puffed, finally reaching the top of the slope and stepping into the ruins of the structure.
I thought we were going to pick a fight after I got a shield. Malthius complained, offering
Okay,
his hand
Cap.
to help her. Ah! Saphira, hands full, simply ignored the gesture and set the weapon on the ground, leaning it against the wall of the building. She groaned in relief, stretching her arms.
Hey, I saw an opportunity and I took it. Would you rather me have skipped it and left us needing to hunt across the city for a random patrol with a building-breaking gun? She casually defended, popping her back. This caused her sternum to shoot a sharp pain along her ribs and lungs, and she gasped, placing a hand on her chest and trying to stifle her agonized expression.
Does this gun still work the same at least? Malthius grumbled as he eyed the device, still not having seemed to notice Saphira's pain. She sighed, trying to relax again. The pain subsided after a moment, but left behind a dull throbbing.
You better notice.
What?
For my sake.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying, I have to call things as I see them. Because I called it when he had to pick her up like a million years before it
Hello,
happened, and I'm calling
hello,
this right now.
hello.
Not quite the same as what?
It's a little annoying to me the way I had written this because I was writing it as though I was like the DM of a world and I was giving like way too many visual details to kind of make it clear what the
Mm,
situation was very specifically so that people would like the characters would know which way to like what was around them to know where to go and what options they had and being able to describe the footprints so that you could tell oh they're probably
yeah.
big enough like bigger than her footprints so since she's dragonborn bigger than her feet would definitely be something else bigger which Malthus is probably the only thing.
Oh, she have
I
big
don't know,
feet.
just I'm putting way too much detail into like describing the scenario because it's like written from the perspective of playing D&D, so like the DM has to describe a lot in order to give the players enough information to work with and actually make decisions about what they want to do next and what is the best course of action. But
Mm-hmm.
it makes it a little clunky to read. So if I were writing it just for the perspective of oh I'm going to write a book and tell a nice story without any like neat nods to D&D mechanics and all that, then it would have not needed this much unnecessary details to paint like a perfect like battle map type picture of everything that's happening. It could have been a lot more simplified and elegant, and it's
Mm-hmm.
annoying me a little bit. But oh well, that's a critique for the. It's fine. it is what it is. It's a rough draft, right?
Rough draft.
Add it to the equal sign and the decapitalization.
Huh?
The remember we found in the
Oh,
previous
yeah,
chapters just a random
yeah.
equal sign and
Applause,
put
applause.
yeah.
Sam
uh,
West says, plot twist, you're reading this message thinking it has to do with the story when it doesn't, hee hee.
hold up. EJ's knows how to whistle, but I don't. Rip.
Oh.
Starlight says Saphira is Kyoshi because she has big feet. Huh. Well, it's just because of her race. Like, she's bigger than a human. She's 7 feet tall, 6 feet tall. I can't remember how tall Saphira is. I think she's like 7 feet tall just because she's not a human. And that's just normal.
Tall,
Tall.
tall.
Welcome back, Swagger. Hope you're having a good one.
Hello.
I'm sorry, what did I just read? I don't know. Starlight says, I can't remember how Saphira got out of the situation from the last chapter. Did her dad give her a pep talk about how he sees his spark in her so she could use her lightning? Was this a Spider-Verse reference? That's funny. Had Spider-Verse come out at that time? Yeah, I guess it had.
Wait, are we
Probably.
talking second Spider-Verse or first Spider-Verse?
First Spider-Verse. It came out in
Okay.
2018. I'm not sure when this was originally written. Most of this, yeah, I think I wrote this mostly in 2019 or something. I don't know. Anyway, um, no, it wasn't meant to be a reference, but that's kind of funny that it was so similar. I don't know.
Oh,
I think she was just, had a moment to use it and was just trying to buy time. Whatever. Um.
okay. Not quite the same as those sonic
Oh.
boom cannons, no, Saphira admitted. But I think it will still get the job done.
I'm sorry. Swagger
Yeah?
says, if Saphira uses lightning, what does Malthus use? Or is he just a bipedal lizard? He's got
Oh
fire breath,
no.
but let's see. Did he already use his fire breath today? Because in D&D mechanics, you can only use it once per day, and then you have to like recharge it, like have to take a rest before you're allowed to use it again. So that's why they're not just like using it constantly. But yeah, he breathes fire. I can't remember if he already used it today. Maybe he used like a little bit of it to like dry a diaper or something. I can't remember at this point. Sorry, continue.
Uh, Not quite the same as those sonic boom cannons, no, Saphira admitted, but I think it will still get the job done. Malthus.
I can't find the place. Against the city wall? Malthus raised an eyebrow.
Trust me, this thing can trust me, this thing can get us out of the city. We just need to figure out how
It's
it
a rough
works.
day.
Saphira insisted, nodding her head towards the blast cannon while still pressing on her chest gingerly. Malthus sighed, stepping forward and bending down to study the black casing of the terrifying weapon. As he passed her, he noticed a new damp stain on the front of her shirt, as well as a brown backpack he hadn't been wearing before. Meanwhile, another gust of wind blew through the room, carrying dust, straw, and splinters with it. Saphira closed her eyes against the flurry of debris from the collapsed ceiling until the wind relented once more.
The war machine?
It's Rhodey?
Ah! I guess that's what it's called. Malthus question, pointing to an engraved portion of the metal.
I don't know. I don't really care what it's called as long as it works, Saphira shrugged, brushing small bits of straw and wood off of her clothes. Can we just get out of here before the perimeter guards notice us? She requested with a hint of annoyance in her tone.
Sounds good to me, Malthus replied, rotating the weapon to look at the various handles and controls. There seemed to be several small strips of tape stuck to the big gun, each briefly labeling different buttons with bizarre titles like Function X13. There was also a large switch labeled Do Not Use. Malthus's eyes narrowed, telegraphing a frown behind his shirt. What do you make of this?
This is like some Doofenshmirtz crap with the do not
Don't
use
hit the
switch.
self-destruct button! Curse you, bury the platypus!
Again, don't care. Let's go. Saphira urged him, peeking out of the north side of the building and looking left and right down the street outside. There was a pile of furniture and burned bodies in the middle of the street. Oh, that's cool. Still smoking
Yay!
next to what was left of a hastily constructed barricade, but no people within view. The airborne dust still made visibility extremely limited, but Saphira was able to see that this was more of a major street than that ran through the city. In fact, Saphira was pretty sure that she'd been to this area a few times while working as a guard. Yet now she was trying to avoid the guards. She listened closely, unable to hear the guards off to the right because of the wind blowing past her ears. Hopefully the wind would also cover the sounds of their escape.
What I want to know is whose job was it to pile up the bodies and burn them while the fighting was still happening? Like, you're getting attacked, why are you wasting your time on that? But okay. Uh, they Starlight said they did want to actually know what Saphira did because she couldn't remember. I believe she was on the ground on her back, getting like her ribs crushed by a big lady with a suit of black armor, and she was like getting smooshed to death. And as her eyes were like popping out of her socket, she was like, "Hold up, I have a distraction for you." And the knight was like, "Excuse me," and like let up the pressure just enough for Saphira to go lightning time and blast her armor and kind of caused her to step back as she got tased in the chest, and that was just enough time for Saphira to jump up and run, even though she got severely injured by the crushing. Or maybe not severely injured because she's still up right now. It's just painful, but it seems to be more than just a walk it off type thing.
Simmer says, Swagger, I read that if
A
you asked
bisexual
yourself if
lizard? No!
bisexual lizard.
No, no!
Oh no.
No, he's not. Next question. Another thing I thought of is if someone invented time travel, does that mean time travel always existed? Um, Technically, I would say, yeah, if time travel is possible, then it's a law of physics. Like, you wouldn't say Isaac Newton invented gravity, right? Like, gravity existed before people before that year. Ah! Oh, why'd you have to invent gravity? Man, this stinks. So, yes, I would say just because someone invents it doesn't mean it now exists. I would say it probably always exists, unless only exception to that would be that one show that I haven't seen where like you can only travel back in time to the point when the time machine was constructed. So it's kind of like more of like a fancy microwave that like sends things back in time to when the microwave was first invented, but you can't send things back further than before the time machine was invented because the machine can't open up and pop you out. So it's in that sense time travel only really exists in the time after time machines existed. So that's an interesting concept. Um, Maybe there are ways around
Well,
it. I don't know. I haven't
I
seen that
think
show.
time travel works by you find it in a desert and then you just do whatever the heck you want and ruin
And you cause
every
every
event in
world event.
history.
Yes. Oh, Super EJ, man of 10,000 abs.
Oh, Super EJ.
Yes. Swagger says, I will say, even if he was just a bipedal lizard, he'd still have like super strength and natural intimidation, as he is an 8 foot tall dragon. 8.5 feet tall. He's very particular about that because I can't do math. um, that's hilarious. There's been times when I've met people who doesn't know what bipedal means. Oh no. uh, I did not realize that that was a Ruby reference, no. But I mean, there's lots of, that's a trope in media that there's like a ball that, the spy's gotta sneak into. That happens all the time. Bipedal means to walk on two legs. Bigfoot isn't bipedal? I mean, I guess it depends on your rendition of it, but usually he is, isn't he? Unless he's just a big monkey. Making a head cannon now. No,
It
this bi
Starlight actually
no.
said
You
Starlight
can't change
actually
my
said,
character like that. It's
Starlight actually said, "Don't think I didn't notice that EJ asked if I had made a Ruby reference with the ball thing," because I was confused about that. I was like, I don't think there was a ball in Ruby, but yeah, that's what they actually said. You just read it wrong.
what?
Okay, never mind.
I'm confused.
You
Uh,
always are.
Mel from Descendants. Oh no, Maleficent? Great.
No,
uh,
isn't she
Mel and
something
Seth.
different? What is she? Because she's Maleficent's daughter?
I
Question
don't
mark.
know,
She
I've
can't have the
never
same
watched
name,
this
can
thing.
she?
I don't know anything, okay? You're
What the heck
referencing
is her
medias that
name?
I've never heard of.
Maleficent Junior? I don't remember what her name is.
I mean, you can shoot cannons in your head all you like, but, your cannons can't change what is reality.
Oh, Starlight says, no, it wasn't a Ruby reference. I just thought it was funny that EJ was still confused about who I am. Yeah, it's not the
My
Ruby
brain
silver, it's the
hurts.
other silver.
My brain hurts. No, I wasn't confused about who you were. I just was.
Just assumed that every person loves Ruby.
No, I don't know what's happening. Okay.
Okay.
Everyone's assuming things about everything, and I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna assume that you are currently wearing 300 shirts.
How did you know? I'm so skinny, I had to wear so many shirts to make myself just look a normal width.
You give him a hug, you get a paper cut. What's that a reference to? Let me know.
Is that How to Train Your Dragon?
No.
Then I don't know.
You give him a hug, you get a paper cut. That was even worse, I'm sorry.
That did not help. I
Somebody in the chat will get it.
Okay.
Samwise will probably get it.
Appreciate it. You leave the pronunciation of my name alone. I tried so hard to get it correct, okay? I went out of my way to try to adapt my habit already that I had of calling you Seymour to change it to Shimmer
Seymour.
because I thought that's what you wanted. Apparently, I just can't hear things properly. But now I will call you Simmer, okay? Leave me alone. If I remember. Now I've got 3 different names. I might just throw one out randomly by accident. Uh, Doctor Who, Donna to Martha.
Correct! You did it. She was talking about the 10th Doctor and how he's way too skinny. You give him a hug, you get a paper cut.
Wow, what a roast. That's
I
great.
know.
Oh, wow, I'm very confused. Anyway, oh wait, wasn't there one more question that I did not answer? Something about the story.
I
It
don't
was
know.
way earlier. Yeah, we did talk about how Sphere got out of the situation now. Oh yeah, so Malthus does use fire breath when he has it, but you only get that once a day with Dragonborn in D&D at least. In stories you can do whatever you want, but I'm holding to D&D rules for the most part here. So I've never played Minecraft or watched a Marvel movie, and I have also not seen Doctor Who. No worries, man. I also was raised under a rock. I cannot blame you. Everyone has different things that they grow
You
up
were
with these
raised
days.
under
It
a
doesn't
rock for
really
a
matter.
while, and then you chose to remain under the rock.
I don't care. There's so much stuff out there to consume. Like you could spend the rest of your life just consuming media, doing nothing but consuming media, and you would never get through even a quarter of what's out there. So it's really like no one will know everything, no one will know every reference. It's no big deal. You
I know
live your
everything.
life. Okay, God. Not
Ask
using
me
the
any
Lord's name in vain.
question, I will
Just
tell you.
humor. uh Morgan Freeman is all I can think of when calling someone Lord. Anyway. Ha 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 ha. Doctor
EJ,
what?
you were raised under Dwayne Johnson? Yes, a man
Ah!
just sat on him for the first half of his life.
I was like, get off, man, get off. Good. Puny God.
Oh no!
Does the Macarena? What the heck is happening?
He's doing the Macarena, that's what's happening.
Seymour just wants to make it harder for me. Oh my gosh, no. You're gonna give me a 4th pronunciation? Imagine you just change your username like midstream
Oh
just to like gaslight me.
no.
Anyway, we're going straight out, Malthus asked quietly from behind her. Saphira pulled her head back inside the building and looked back to Malthus, who was lifting the heavy cannon by its proper handle and letting it hang at his side.
Looks clear to me as long as we're quiet, Saphira announced, casting a glare of judgment at Malthus. Emphasis on being quiet, though.
I'll do my best. Malthus apologized, drooping under their harsh gaze. Or,
Aw.
I'll do my best. Saphira chuckled, shaking her head.
At least this is a perimeter. If we do get spotted, we just run, and we should be home free, she offered with fake confidence, secretly hoping that they would not need to do any more running today. Her ribs still felt like they were being stabbed by red-hot pokers every
How does
once in
she
a
know
while,
how that feels?
and her head still pounded, threatening to become a headache if she didn't take it easy.
Famous last words. Malthus mumbled, stepping to join her by the gaping hole in the north wall. He seemed ready to leave. Saphira looked around the building for a moment, suddenly anxious again.
Wait, where's Rowan? She demanded angrily, looking up at Malthus's half-covered face.
Calm down, my gosh. Malthus turned, pointing to the backpack. I needed something to protect him from the dust. He's asleep.
Oh, thank goodness, Saphira relaxed, glad the little guy was safe. Can he breathe in there?
I made sure. Malthus nodded matter-of-factly.
All right, good. Now stay close, she ordered, taking the lead again. She slipped through the large crack in the wall and began trudging down another pile of dirt and rubble toward the main street, trying to make as little noise as possible. Once she reached the bottom, Malthus lifted the heavy gun to keep it from hitting the ground and began sliding down the hill as well to meet her. Saphira's ears perked up. She has ears? Does she? Do
Metaphorical
lizards have
ears.
ears?
I mean,
Okay.
no, they have like the best they've got is like little circular divots or whatever, but they can
I
hear.
just I just had to stop because like I brought the image to my brain. I was like, does she have ears or just horns?
I mean, no, she does not have actual ears. That would look really
Okay.
weird.
Saphira's metaphorical ears perked up, hearing a faint metal whirring sound behind her, interspersed with Malthus's clattering of small rocks. She whirled, eyes sharp as she scanned the empty houses and dusty streets for the source of the noise. There was an open window in an abandoned mill, a tattered tarp, a column of smoke being blown away by the fierce sandpaper-like wind. The cloudy sky, which seemed even darker than it had been before, as though the sun was slowly becoming blocked out entirely. But Saphira could see no source of the noise, which had faded away. Saphira remained stiff, looking down the street suspiciously as Malthus reached the bottom of the pile and stood up beside her.
What's up? Malthus whispered, following her gaze.
I don't know. Hopefully nothing, Saphira grumbled, tilting her head to try to lessen the faint whoosh of the breeze rushing past her ears.
Metaphorical
A
ears.
faint
Whatever ears work for them.
A faint rumbling boom could be heard in the distance, low and long. Malthus cocked his head, hearing the noise as well.
There's a storm coming, Malthus commented, looking up at the darkened sky. Saphira turned and quickly began striding across the street.
You have no idea, she confirmed grimly, finally exiting the magistrate perimeter.
Oh, because the Black Knight's name was Storm. Sorry.
Oh, 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 oh.
uh, you're certainly a ray of sunshine today, Malthus mumbled in response, continuing to follow her as they entered the dirty streets of the rest of the city.
Let's just get back out of the city before anything else can go wrong, she shot back quickly, not wanting to talk about her near-death experience. We've got what we need, so as long as we avoid patrols, we'll be good to go.
Fine, Malthus grumbled, drooping sadly and remaining quiet for a moment. You know how to use this thing? He asked after a minute, lifting the black cannon in front of himself for her to see.
Not at all. That's why I said we needed to figure it out. Shouldn't be too hard for a blacksmith, though, right? She joked, trying to lighten the mood.
Well, I'm a blacksmith, not a tech tinkerer, he admitted, but I guess there's only so many buttons on this thing.
That's the spirit. We'll just press all the buttons until the wall blows up and then we can go find my family.
That's a terrible
Saphira
idea.
encouraged with more fake bravado. Malthus studied her face for a moment, seeming unsure whether he wanted to say something. Then he shrunk back, no doubt thinking better of reminding her that there was no such guarantee that her family was among the survivors. There was a tense silence for a moment before Saphira spoke again. Where is the evacuation point anyway?
It's a good hike away from the city. It's pretty far and hard to find, but I can lead you.
Where? I want to know in case we get separated again, she pleaded. He met her eyes and considered for a moment.
I don't exactly have a map to point it out on, but it's northeast in the woods. There's a valley a couple of miles in. I don't know how much more specific I can be. I'm no geographer. That is not quite the right term, but sure, we'll let it pass. Cartographer would be better.
Hey, he's a blacksmith. He's not supposed to be super smart.
Yeah.
Do you think the magistrate have found it by now, since they knew you were leading people
Her
away?
intelligence score is actually better than his. I think her stats are better than his in every way other than strength. Poor
He
man.
is only the brawn, she is everything else.
I know.
Malthus shook his head.
I was a little annoyed when I found that out. I was like, what's the point of my character if my wife's better than me than everything? Anyway. Well, where did we leave off?
You wanna look at the chat first?
Yeah,
I feel
let's
like
look
it's
at
going
chat.
fast.
It is. We've missed like 2 full screens of chat at least. It was always Shimmer EJ. Gaslighting begins already. It's me, Hans Zimmer. What's going on? Roomba? You will never be a Roomba. What? Oh dear. I don't get that joke, but I'm glad you get the reference. Cool.
Is it an author or something? I don't know.
I don't know. Simile you don't smile at. I'm really oblivious to what's popular nowadays. Don't feel bad if you don't get references. Yep, I agree with that. I believe they call it an iPad!
iPad!
Oh no.
Oh, that was so bad.
uh,
I have not seen Euphoria, so I don't really know anything about it.
Yay, pushing buttons! I always wondered what the big red button does.
Oh boy,
It's a trap, is what Malthus is wondering.
it's a trap.
About what? The button? I don't know. Um, do you see
I'm
what I said
surprised you didn't
earlier?
get the Loki
If
reference.
you
What
would
Loki
judge
reference?
me if I did a thing. Huh? I guess I must have missed whatever that was. Must have skimmed
Oh, I
over
get
it.
the reference now, I think.
I am not planning on looking it up. Thank you.
I'm not planning on looking you up. I thought you should
Ah!
know.
You don't need to look me up. I'm your brother.
Oh yeah? Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
Are
Pretty
you
sure.
sure?
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sire. Pretty
Pretty
sire,
sire?
it's Stromfrong. Okay, we're caught up with chat. I officially
Yeep,
declare it. Ah!
yeep,
Ah! You're making me
yeep.
do the wave!
Wait. Oh, it was my line? Yes.
Yes.
No, it wasn't. I
What?
said that one already.
You said that one already?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I didn't hear it, so. Anyway, no way. Not unless they burn the whole forest down looking for it.
How do you know?
Well, I don't, I suppose, he admitted. They might have found it, but I'd be surprised if they went to that much trouble with the fighting still going on, he offered.
What fighting? Saphira asked, hanging her head to listen to the eerie quiet that had befallen the city. There were no longer the sounds of buildings crumbling in the distance or fires raging, only the faint, deep rumbling of thunder in the distance, along with an even fainter, quieter, metallic noise of knives or something, obscured by Malthus's footsteps in the ashes. Saphira held up a hand for him to stop, listening intently. Suddenly, a flash of bright light ignited the gray clouds around them for an instant and then went out again, burning the dark shapes of hidden buildings into their vision. Saphira jumped involuntarily, her stomach heaving in an attempt to bring forth lightning, but
Hug
her
him!
lightning was already spent.
Hug him!
Huh?
Hug him in fear!
All she felt was a sharp pain in her chest as her empty insides convulsed in a more muted agony. She yelped in pain and surprise, stopping where she stood and reaching for her empty belt. Malthus seemed startled too, looking up at the darkened fog. They exchanged glances as Saphira panted, clutching at the pain in her chest again.
You alright? Malthus asked, concern evident on his face. She took a moment to close her eyes, straighten up, and calm herself to stop her stomach from trying to draw upon lightning she had already used. She took a deep breath and immediately felt the pain in her sternum again as her lungs expanded. It felt like a burning blade was being plunged into the center of her chest, right where Storm's foot had been. Saphira's arms. Saphira's eyes flashed open, seeing a sneering face leering at her from within the spots burned in her vision.
Yeah, I'm fine, she lied calmly. Definitely didn't almost die a half hour ago, she added inwardly, trying to manage her breathing to avoid causing any more pain. She didn't feel fine. Her hands were shaking a little from the adrenaline of her surprise, and her chest hurt terribly when she moved her ribs more than an inch. Perhaps she had broken something after all? I just need to find my family, then everything will be fine. Boom! A giant thunderclap followed the flash a few seconds later, shaking the earth and the buildings and the bodies of all in the area. Saphira was surprised again because of her painful distraction and immediately became angry at herself for forgetting that thunder always accompanies lightning. She, of all people, should remember that. The thunder boomed loudly, sending a deafening series of vibrations reverberating throughout the city and drowning out all sounds. Oh, this is her. You think that'll be loud enough to cover up your footsteps? Saphira joked
Wow.
through clenched teeth. Malthus shot her a glare.
A bigger concern would be, is this fancy gun waterproof? He returned, gesturing to the cannon as he looked up into the sky.
I don't know, it's a roadie. I would hope it can withstand a little rain. She returned as she began to continue walking.
Yeah, it's a war machine, but it's held together with duct tape. They have duct tape in this universe? Malthus rolled his eyes.
I'm sure it'll be fine, she assured him as they continued traveling towards the northeast of the city. The foggy atmosphere continued to grow darker and darker as lightning continued to explode violently and light their way, sending thunder throughout the city with every strike. Within minutes, intermittent raindrops had begun to fall, each one slamming into the dry powder on the ground and sending a small plume of ash and grit flying into the air. Malthus and Saphira did not change their pace, simply accepting the reality of the storm. The fog of filth was still thick, blocking their view of everything except the immediate vicinity, and the wind was still strong, blowing against them as they tried to press on. Saphira blinked vigorously, squinting to defend her eyes from the high-speed dust in the air. She then heard the sharp crash of shattering glass behind her, and she whirled in surprise to see that Malthus had slammed one end of the blast cannon through the window of a nearby house.
What the
What on
heck?
earth are you doing? Saphira hissed at him furiously. Malthus responded by calmly plucking a large shard of glass from the frame of the window and placing it on his nose like a pair of glasses while holding the cannon with his other hand. Why? Saphira cried, burying her face in her palms and shaking her head.
The sandstorm is annoying. Malthus shrugged. Want a piece? Are you kidding me? He made
My God.
himself safety glasses for the storm?
That does not seem very safe,
That
just
seems
saying.
terrible.
It goes in your eyeball, you
he,
will be so blind.
he just improvises everything he has. He doesn't have a single thing that is actually what it's intended to be.
Oh my god. Nope, I am not doing that. I don't feel like cutting my nose or getting glass in my eyes. Saphira refused, still reeling at the unnecessary noise.
Suit yourself. Malthus shrugged, walking past her while holding his improvised safety glasses in place like a monocle.
Oh my gosh.
She clutched her tongue, or clucked her tongue in annoyance, and began following him with her arms crossed behind her still, or across her still injured chest. Thankfully, walking behind Malthus's hulking form gave her some cover from the sand-blasting wind in her eyes. If only Malthus would use such simple solutions to problems without needing to resort to ridiculous measures.
But he can't because you're short.
I was just gonna say, well, when he learns how to like extend his neck behind him like Elastigirl, then he can use his own body to
Oh
protect us.
no.
Their northward course took them directly into one of the areas where the fighting had been the worst. Dead bodies of magistrate soldiers and rebellious citizens lay side by side, sprawled where they had been slain. Apparently, there had not been time to clean up this section of the battlefield or burn the corpses. The smell was terrible, and it looked like most of these bodies had been there a day or two. Saphira averted her gaze, feeling queasy. She couldn't help but worry that she would see the face of someone she knew among the fallen. Instead, Saphira studied Malthus's leather pack intently, watching as raindrops began to strike the top of it more and more frequently. She could only hope that Rowan was remaining safe and dry within. As she gazed upon it, she couldn't help but feel a little bit thankful that she wasn't alone. Walking through the creepy fog alone had been bad enough, without having to tiptoe through a stormy graveyard as well. Suddenly, Malthus stopped without warning, probably with the intent to do something stupid again.
Oh no, now what? She whispered, trying to avoid looking towards the bodies.
Shield, he grunted in response, stepping off course towards the mess of corpses.
You kidding me? No, why? Saphira protested, but Malthus paid her no mind, striding purposely across the ruined battlefield and tossing his glass shard to the side.
Tink.
Have you no respect? She grumbled, forcing herself to look upon the devastation again. Malthus was heading straight for a full-body shield with the magistrate's symbol on its face, which was clutched in the dead hand of an impaled rebel. I definitely read that as impaled eel. I don't know how. Saphira steeled herself, scanning the man's grotesque face. It was no one she knew, thankfully. Lightning flashed again, and Saphira's eye was caught by a glint reflecting on the chest plate of a magistrate soldier. The fallen soldier had still had a sheathed dagger strapped to his belt. Saphira pursed her lips, upset, but knowing that it would be better to prepare. I have to dishonor a dead guy, at least it's a dog of a magistrate. She reached down as carefully as possible to avoid aggravating her chest, took the dagger and strapped it to her own belt. She then looked around, scanning the macabre scene for anything else of use. It seemed there were several magistrate soldiers with these same kinds of daggers strapped to their belts, most of them unused. Saphira decided to quickly take 2 more daggers just in case. Then she returned to Malthus, who was waiting with a longsword on his belt, a shield in one hand and a blast cannon in the other. He was beginning to look pretty wet, and she began to see his chainmail through his white shirt. Okay, I'm gonna look at the chat
Yeah,
for
I
a
was
second.
gonna suggest the same thing. We love an absolute redacted.
He almost revealed what the redacted
no,
was.
no, I didn't. What are you talking about? Oh dear. Let's see.
I'm scrolling a lot. I don't know where this ended.
Something about
Oh, there we go.
Beth's
Okay.
actress. They need to stop making love actions. I mean, live actions.
Wait, they're making a How to Train Your Dragon live action. What?
What? Why? 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 Stop!
I don't know if I believe that, but I would be
Ah,
angry if it was true.
only you can prevent forest fires. Also, only you can cause forest fires. So just stay away from the forest. Then there'll be no forest fire.
Oh boy.
What about all the forest fires that happen naturally by like lightning strikes and stuff? I feel like those will still happen. um.
Yeah, everyone's talking about the live action, so apparently it's a thing, but I think that's stupid because why can't people make original stories instead of remaking animated ones that are already perfectly freaking fine?
And Starlight says, "Wait, they race swapped Astrid, bro? Why? Why? It's a thing
How
that
to Train
came
Your
out like
Dragon
less than
is
10 years ago. Why do you feel the need to reboot it, live action it, race
yeah.
swap people?
It's
What's
already
the
like
point of
perfect
any of
the
this?
way it
Just make your
is.
own original things. It doesn't just Hollywood, why
You
are you
cannot
so
possibly improve on How to Train Your
I
Dragon.
don't think they're trying to improve. They're just trying to get money, and then they're like race swapping things so that they can say, "Oh, if it fails, then we
But
just call everyone racist because that's clearly
weren't
why it failed."
Vikings white?
It doesn't. None of it makes sense. It's not about the logic. It's just about the politics and the money. Okay, they don't care. The Hollywood's
Like
just
I could
ruining
understand.
everything for no
Like
reason.
even the
It's
Little
not
Mermaid
about
makes more
the
sense because that could be
creativity.
like any ocean area, but like
Hmm
this is specifically Vikings, and I thought that like most of those were white, but I don't know. What
I
do I
mean,
know?
really, it doesn't matter. Like, they're not going for historical accuracy anyway, considering it's just like dragons and magic tech and all that kind of stuff anyway. So I can forgive like the race swaps or whatever. I don't care. It's just the concept of why would you take a character that is who they are and then just say, yeah, you know what, we're gonna take that same character and then just change them completely into a different character, but like pretend they're the same person, and you have to still like them because they're the same person, right? You like that person, so you should like this person. But but why you change them then? They already existed, like with Malthus. Just taking that same character and putting him here and saying, "Oh yeah, he's bi now." That why would you do that? He was who he was, and now you're just like making up a new version of them and saying he's the same version. That's not. What are you doing? Just calm down. Let people be who they are, and make room for new characters that are their own thing, that are interesting in their own right for their own reasons, and leave the character who was his own person alone. That goes for Indiana Jones. That goes for Star Wars. That goes for all these different things that Hollywood's like destroying these days. Velma doesn't need to be like
Oh
Indian or
my
whatever they
gosh.
changed her to. I just all these. Ah,
Velma
this
doesn't
is
need to
an
be
entire
completely
mess.
horrible. Starlight says, EJ, you can't just tell things they're race swapped.
Huh?
They're joking.
Oh.
Swagger says, have y'all heard of Epic the Musical? A musical about the Odyssey slash Iliad. I have not, but according to the chat, I would love it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I've heard of Hades
I'd
Town,
be
which I never
interested.
actually listened to.
I never actually like learned the full story of the Iliad or the Odyssey or whatever, so like that would, I mean, we've read like summaries and like children's versions of it, so I would certainly be
She's
interested in.
the one where you poke the guy in the eyeball, right?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah,
I
and I'm not as familiar with the Iliad, but I know the Odyssey is the one with
have
like,
like a core memory of you and me and in New York in
when the heck were we in New York?
when Mom's grandma died, and we
Oh.
were there at that house for a few days or a week or something, like getting the affairs in order and like sorting out the stuff from the house. And the dentures were still in a cup creepily in the bathroom. Um, Mom was reading us like the story of the Cyclops and Perseus stabbing the eye,
Mm.
and no one has blinded me. And they're all like,
Oh,
"Okay, then
oh,
why are you
oh,
upset, dude?" I don't know.
oh, get wrecked.
That's like a
I
core
have
memory
like
to me. That whole.
I have a couple core memories from that, but neither of them were the book. The first one I have from being at her grandma's house
Hmm
is, at least I'm pretty sure this is where this was. Um, there were like we had a box of donuts for some reason, and so I asked I went down to the basement where mom was, and I was like, hey, can I have a donut? And she's like, you have to eat real food first. And I was like, oh, poop. So then I went and I asked dad, and I was like, hey, can I have a donut? And he said yes. So I was like, okay, so I get to have a donut. So I ate a donut. But then mom found out, and then I got in trouble because you're not
Oh.
supposed to ask one parent then ask the other one. And I was like, oh no.
Ooh.
And of course that made me sad because I was a little tiny child who didn't like to be disapproved of by her parents. So that stuck with me. And then I
hmm
also remember going to like
That's so
a
funny.
neighbor's pool while we were there. Do you remember that?
Uh, no, I don't remember that part. I remember just a couple flashes, really, of the situation. Like we went to a little market or something where there was like magic stuff and performing stuff, and then there was like the backyard covered in leaves. But really, I don't remember all that much of that place. I
Yeah, I
remember
didn't
that's where
either.
we got the exercise bike though, or something like that.
What?
I think that's where we got.
The exercise book that we currently have, because we
I
just
think
got that
so.
like less than 5 years ago.
Okay, well,
I
in
think.
that case, there must have been another exercise bike. I don't know, but I thought that's where we got that exercise bike. I could be wrong.
I don't think so, unless it's been in storage for 5 million years, but
Could be.
I don't know why that would be the case.
I don't know.
Samwise says, "Am I the only one who ate a whole bag of pepperoni in one sitting?" Dude, I could do that. I love pepperonis, like
How
just
big a
eating them
bag are
straight.
we talking? Cause like, I'm imagining like this, like that's a whole meal. Like, wow.
I couldn't see your hands, but the bags of pepperonis are usually like,
I'm imagining like both my fists like put together, that amount of mass of like just
yeah, it's probably about
pepperonis.
right.
Oh my gosh.
At least one fist.
Oh my goodness.
1.5 maybe.
uh,
I have to
almost done
scroll
with your
back up.
dragon. Ethan, you want to see it so far? I would
Oh
love to, but
boy.
also I kind of want to see it when it's like fully done, so it doesn't like spoil the surprise for me. It's up to you. I will be impressed and happy either way. I may have an unhealthy obsession with dragons as a result of having made these characters and spent too much time with them. That's fine. Let's see.
This all sounds so pretentious, but honestly, the Iliad and the Odyssey slap so hard. They're awesome.
Samway says, here's a recap. Bigfoot has only one foot. Time travel has always existed. And, yeah. My mind has been blown.
Yeah, somebody was asking for a recap of this stream, but to be honest, nothing's really happened yet. Saphira just she was carrying the cannon that she got from last chapter, and she found Maltheus, and now they are continuing to walk, and her ribs hurt a lot, and that's about it.
Hmm. Simmer slash Shimmer slash Seymour, I don't know what
Oh my gosh.
says Velma is so bad. As an Indian, I'm actually so mad. I know
Oh
that's
no.
another thing with the whole like Hollywood making absolutely terrible like garbage movies and then like just slapping some diversity in and being like, "Oh, now you have to like it because it has diversity and look, if you hate it, you're a racist." That's just terrible because you're like, "Oh, here's your representation. Here's a polished turd. Are you happy with it?" And everyone's like, "Why would you do this? This is not good represent. What have you done? Why have you given us this? Stop.
Yeah,
Stop trying. Just make good things, please."
my least favorite thing in the world is like in the MCU, they're starting to introduce like all these new female characters, and there's people that are like, "Oh, if you don't like them, like you liked all these male characters in Phase One, why don't you like the female characters?" And I'm like, because they're bad characters and they have no depth whatsoever. Everyone loved Natasha Romanoff in the first four phases of the MCU because she was great and she actually had depth. But then we're not gonna care about these freaking shallow women characters that just have nothing to them and they're just like a cardboard cutout of a human being. And so like just make good characters that happen to be women and then people will like them. Just stop being so like I don't know, just forcing out so much content that none of it is actually good and then blaming us for not liking it. That's my rant.
Yeah, it's so ironic because honestly, like by doing all these stupid things that Hollywood's doing, they're really making racism, sexism, all these isms, they're making those more of a problem.
Mhm.
Like they're perpetuating all these things by making that the biggest thing that everyone needs to be focusing on constantly. Like I never really thought about racism or anything when I was a kid because, I had friends of all these different nationalities and we all just hung out and we were all equals and nobody really cared. But nowadays, it's all I see on social media, on the internet, everywhere. It's just constantly everyone arguing with each other about these things that you can't control about yourself. You were born that way. Why does it have to matter? Just can everyone please just forget about it and just move on and stop being angry all the time? We're not gonna be able to move on as a society if we're constantly lighting each other on fire and doing crazy things. Just freaking
True.
calm down, everyone. Love one
Yeah.
another. I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. I wish they would just stop like trying to magnify the problem with all these ridiculous things.
Yeah. It is one of those things where like you do just kind of have to stop talking about it in order for it to go away. And it didn't used to be that way. I mean, back in the day, like with the civil rights movement, you had to do something because
Oh
you couldn't
yeah,
just not talk about it.
yeah,
But
because it was
like,
a problem.
yeah. But
But now it's
now,
so much of a everyone's making it a problem by
yeah,
making it a problem. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is just I might have a different perspective, but I know there are people of like every nationality that agree with me as well,
Yeah.
with that same philosophy.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's a hard problem to solve, but whatever is currently happening is not helping. That's all
True.
I can say. I think everyone could agree that what the current situation is not helping. It's just like the memes that I see on the internet these days, I'm seeing like 13-year-olds just like making memes constantly about like, oh, I'm so edgy for saying the N-word and all these different things. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are we training our youth to like think this kind of thing is okay? Even if you're like acting edgy or whatever, why are you just trying to make incite everyone to be upset at each other at all times? Why are you like advertising, oh, look at me doing all these war crimes. I'm such a Chad. No, calm down. Stop being a
Sad.
moron. Just why? Can we not just like move on as a society and let's all be behind us in the past? I don't know.
Apparently not.
Yeah,
Viger says, so what are y'all's favorite musicals? I think mine is West Side Story, original, not remake, but remake was really good.
I just pulled a Jack
Um,
Sparrow. I just like turned around in my swivel chair like a drunken sailor because I couldn't
Have you
find
ever
my
get lost
laptop.
and turn around in your
Yeah,
room?
the frick am I?
I really do like West Side Story, and I agree that the original was better, but the remake wasn't bad. It's just the original was better. Um, but my favorites, I don't even know. I like the Percy Jackson musical a lot because I thought it really did justice to the books, and it's really fun. I like that one a lot. And I've always liked Phantom of the Opera, specifically the 25th anniversary edition, because I don't even know why. Like, it's a weird like I don't know. It's not even that it has like a great story or anything because it doesn't. It's just like some creepy stalker man harassing a young girl and like almost killing her boyfriend. But the music is really beautiful, so I like that one. Um Probably forgetting so many musicals right now because I haven't listened to them in a while. Um so yeah, I guess I'd say those two maybe. I don't know, I'm forgetting so many.
Where did you send the picture to, Stella? I don't see it in my email. It's not in my spam folder either. Did you send it via email or did you send it on Discord or something? I think representation is important, but do it right, please. Yeah, I know, I agree.
Mhm.
Like, there are so many interesting stories you could tell, and honestly, a lot of times, like the color, the the all those things about a character, the physical attributes don't matter so much as like the heart, the soul, the like personality and the interest of the character themselves. So really, you could just take a character, like say Harry Potter, you could just, change his skin color, change his whatever, and if you had invented him as, that character, everyone would like that character because he's the same person. He's just got a different paint job. That doesn't really matter so much. So you can make up a character. All these different great characters could have been any race, and that
Yeah.
you could represent whoever you want to, and it's no big deal. No one would care. If it's a great story, people will love it, and there are all kinds of stories that should be told like that, and even ones that are more culturally bound, like with Indian culture or you know Chinese or whatever. All of those stories are also another like wealth of human experience to draw upon. Um,
Mhm.
but what Hollywood is doing is they're just like I've already made the the analogy of taking a turd and polishing it, and then that it's just not whatever they're doing. It's not good. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know how to
it
be
feels
more
like they're
eloquent.
they're just like, oh, we need a black character, so let's focus on the fact that they are black and then build a character around that
Oh
instead
my
of saying,
goodness.
oh, let we have a cool story to tell. Let's focus on this really cool character. Oh, and they are black, and then like they're a good character who happens to be black instead of just initially going, oh, we need diversity, so let's build some shallow characterization around that. Like just make a good character and then decide what their skin color is, and you'll be fine. But no, we have to do it the opposite way.
Or better yet, they take an existing character like just for example, Mermista, and say, okay, we gotta check a box. We gotta check a box for every category. Okay, boom, we switched her color. Now she's that, and but she never was, but now she
Yeah, did you
is.
see in the Little
Uh,
Mermaid remake they made like Ariel's sisters all like different races to represent the seven seas of the ocean, which just
oh,
logically doesn't really make sense because they came from the same father. It's a cool
that is a
idea, but like
long commute time to swim. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
Wow.
Like, how did that happen? I just don't quite understand.
Is there one that's like in a parka for like the North Sea or something? That's
Oh
pretty cold
no.
up there.
Yeah, she just must
How
be
could
like
she
toasting
survive?
inside if she's in like a more tropical
Yeah,
place
that
now.
seems cruel and unusual punishment, man. Like who
No.
banished her? What did she do wrong to be assigned the freezing cold, icy tundra?
Oh no.
Oh boy. Let's see here. 1 second. And by 1 second, I mean multiple seconds.
They ruined Peter Pan and Wendy. Wendy is the epitome of a wonderful motherly figure. She was wise and matured. They threw that out of the story because diversity. I heard that was really bad. I don't really know much about it though. But yeah, I heard they kind of ruined her character.
Wow! It's so sparkly and cool.
Oh, a dragon?
I'm a dragon. Wow,
Can't see it
thank you.
yet.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it is cool.
Yeah,
Now I
it's
see it.
like very pastel-y. It's Easter dragon.
Easter dragon.
Whoa.
Cute. Does he have eggs?
What? Oh, I was like, I am a male, thank you.
Do you have eggs?
Do I have eggs? Uh, oh, what's the words? Earth. Earth is the element that I chose. Cool, 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 cool,
What's the
cool.
words?
I'm reading the words. Sparkly blue, deep orange, hot pink, lime green. OG color request. Yep, yep. I still stand by it. I like those colors. Very cool. Thank you so much. I like it. It's very cool. Is it done or is that mostly done? I know you said earlier that it was like mostly done or something. Have you heard of the Wing Feather Saga? No, I have not, but I've heard that it's good.
I did.
I don't
I
know if I
heard
plan on
about.
watching it at some point.
Did you just say you haven't heard of it, but you heard it was good? What?
No, no. Well, I mean, I've heard that it exists. I have heard that it's good. I have not
That's called
planned on
hearing
watching.
about it.
I don't know what I said. Okay, leave me alone. Alpha Soccer,
I
Alpha
was so
Scooper says,
confused.
"Hi, how are you doing, bud? Wait, what?" He says, "How are you doing, bud? It's been a while. I thought you quit." Nope, haven't. Well, I mean, kind of have quit. I have kind of quit. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a YouTuber or anything anymore. I'm just doing this for fun, vibing. But yeah, it has been a while. But hi, how you doing? Long time no see. Welcome back. Swagger says, one of my characters is a pale redhead from a wealthy family who has a mixed race relationship in 1941. If you change that, it
Woo!
messes the whole
1941.
story. Wow, interesting.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sam White says the only musical I've seen is Newsies. I think I spelled it right. Yeah, I forgot Newsies. That's up there in my favorites too. I love Newsies.
Morgan Freeman says
And
the best way
Starlight's.
to deal with
Oh yeah, I was about to read
rockism
that.
is to stop talking about it.
Rockism. I hate when rocks are discriminated
That's what I
against.
grew up under.
But yeah, I think I've seen that clip of Morgan Freeman, and yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good quote.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, Abdub says I liked Dear Evan Hansen a lot a few years ago. I still like it. Yeah, I used to be pretty into that. Not as much anymore. It's still good, but they made that movie that was supposedly really bad. And that was like with those super popular musicals like Hamilton and Dear Evan Hansen, you like it for a while and then you get a little annoyed with it because it's overplayed so much. I know Ethan hates probably both of those. Um,
Just because it was like back when you and Abigail and Maggie and all those people would sing these constantly, and I never heard the
I
originals. I
know.
just heard these repetitions, and I was like, ah, stop! I'm withering inside.
Yeah, Hamilton is like I haven't listened to that in years because I we were so annoying in 2016 like when we would be on the bus on the way to where we would practice for our musicals after school. We would just be like screaming Hamilton. I like looking back, the bus driver probably wanted to like jump out the window. I'm
Oof.
so sorry.
Yikes! And then there was me who had to live with y'all.
Yeah, we were annoying.
Hmm.
Simmer says, Ethan, I'm gonna change my Discord display name every day. You don't even know me on Discord, but I still will, by the way.
It's okay. I'm actually like I don't even check the Discord servers because I can't handle socializing that much. So feel free to not do that if you don't want to put in the effort just to annoy me, because I will not be annoyed. I will not even see it. Something in my eye. I must be in the story. Stella says I went more traditional. I thought Earth Dragons would be more traditional, therefore the patterns. Oh, are these like? Is this like Wings of Fire type designs with Earth Dragons or something? Is that like a established thing? Either way, that's really interesting and cool. I like it. Thank you so much for add a top hat and monocle. Ha ha. That's funny. X got legs. Um. Also, sorry, wings aren't as good as McKay's. Oh, it still looks cool. I like the wings. I kind of. Hmm. I know it's like representing Earth with the brown, but if it were like more brighter orange, that would include the other color. But yeah, I'm not going to question your creative design. I like it as it is, but also that would be interesting as well. I just am trying to turn it into Malthus, obviously. I'm kidding. um, buffalo, buffalo, buffalo.
Oh no.
Let's see.
I still listen to Hamilton and it still slaps. Genuinely amazing writing. Lin-Manuel Miranda is a great songwriter. Fun fact, like a couple weeks ago, I randomly played Satisfied just to see if I still knew all the words, and I did, and I was like, oh my gosh, I listened to this so
Whoa.
much, it will be forever ingrained in my brain until the day I die.
It's like that other song that you and I used to do too much.
Oh, the Harry Potter
Yeah.
ones? Yep. Oh boy.
That's funny. It's interesting that this is going back completely to a different topic, but my brain decided to kind of like popcorn all around. It's interesting that Morgan Freeman said the same thing, and he's like a well-respected gentleman.
Mhm.
Same thing that we're saying here, the same philosophy. But like, if we just came out and like said that at some talk somewhere, and we're like, hey, the best way to deal with racism is to forget it. If people saw us saying that, like me, they would be like, oh, you're a white man, you're not allowed to say that. You get
Mhm.
out of here. You're crazy. We need to get reparations. You white people need to pay for the crimes of your ancestors, etc., because we were enslaved to you and all this stuff. And even though it's the exact same words, the exact same sentiment, because of where it's coming from, even though everyone needs to work together to actually destroy racism, but because of what I look like and who I am, and I can't change that, and that they would they would absolutely destroy me if I were
Yeah.
the voice saying that kind of thing. And that's really ironic too, because my ancestors were Vikings, and we didn't even.
Yeah, true, we were Vikings, weren't we?
Well, we're half Viking and half. Okay, some of
We're
my
one-fourth
ancestors.
Viking, right?
Yeah, we're one-fourth Finnish. Our great grandmother moved over from Finland, so we like weren't involved with any any of that. And then, or at least in our generations, it was already long past. And then the other side of our family, our what was it, our great great grandfather or great 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 grandfather? He fought on the side of the Union against slavery on the Civil
Ethan just
War.
flexing on all the slave owners right now.
Well, what? I'm just saying, like, either way, it's so far past that it really like there's no basis for blaming me for anything. It's me specifically. I don't know. Like people just like to accuse people for things that they can't control. And even if it was like your father did something terrible and you're the son of that person, what are you going to do? You have to live your own life. You can't live in the failures of the past. You can't be enshackled forever by the regrets or that's how you like you wallow in despair and you don't move on with your life. That's how you end up in depression. If you're like a person. So what if we as society, what are we doing to ourselves? We're bringing ourselves down, attaching balls and chains and just chucking them into the water. We're
Oh
killing
no.
ourselves and ripping ourselves apart and making a bigger divide between all of us. Why are we doing this to ourselves? I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
Morgan
annoying that people
Freeman's
like
got a good
aren't
idea.
allowed to have I don't like that people aren't allowed to have opinions about things if like they aren't in a specific group of people, like how men aren't allowed to have opinions on like abortion and stuff just because they're men. I'm like, no, they
Yeah,
can still have an opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but they can have an opinion.
yeah, yeah.
I
We're a
feel like
very messed up society at this point. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
don't say.
You can't really say anything without someone getting offended at you or trying to cancel you or destroying. I don't know. It's just
That's why I don't
insane.
want to be a famous YouTuber because that
Mhm.
sounds way too stressful. I'm just doing it for fun.
Mhm. Mhm.
Trying to look at the chat. I don't know what I've missed.
Oh no, I was scrolled. I've missed much chat. Is that King Arthur? King Arthur isn't real, that's King George! That's funny.
Merlin was King Arthur's teacher. I think you mean the Jetty.
uh,
Starlight says Phase 4 was great, guys. Think about Psychopath Kate. I wish Psychopath Kate was real.
do you want me to add anything? It's fine. To the dragon? Let me pull him up again. I don't really think so. I mean, it looks cool. I like it. The only thing I was just saying was instead of brown, more like brighter, vibranter would be nice. But that's just my personal preferences coming out. So yeah, it's just I hedge my bets. You know what I mean? You are the creative genius here. I submit to your discretion of what you think is coolest. I'm just excited that you made something. I feel special being arted. That's really
Arted.
cool. You're very talented. I like your art style.
Yes, it is cute.
Yes.
Dargan.
Dargans. Okay, and I are Dargans now. That came out so redneck.
McKay and I are Dargans now.
Looks like a bronze dragon from D&D. I mean, that's kind of what Malthias is. He's a bronze dragonborn from D&D.
Your mom is a bronze dragonborn from D&D.
I mean, I guess she probably was. Malthias was.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, that reminds me of Sword and Stone. What a great movie. Are you guys going to be sassing TDP Season 5 now, since y'all are now PG-13 channel and TDP is kind of a kid's show? I don't think that's the reason why we would or wouldn't do it. We watch whatever we want to. It's just a matter of do we feel like doing that again so quickly after we just watched a whole season and McKay had to slog
Yeah,
through
I
editing
am a
it.
little bit annoyed that I just finished editing a couple months ago and now they're already giving me another season. I'm like, bro, stop. Right now I genuinely have no idea.
I just am not
I
interested
don't
in the
know.
story anymore. Like they lost me. I was still interested at the end of season 3, but
Yeah.
I feel like I was interested through most of season 3. Then the second half, I was like, what are they doing? And then the season 4, wow, they completely lost me. I just don't care anymore. It's been too long, and also the direction they went is annoying. I'll still watch it eventually, probably someday, but I'm not like in any hurry to do it immediately.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't make like super long videos on it because that takes so much time to edit. So if we were to sass it, it would probably just be like, you know, either short episodes or like combining them into like longer episodes for like multiple episodes because like you guys don't even know how much time it takes to edit these videos and I just want to do it for fun. So I have more fun with the ones with like me and Ethan and Kat and Shroomy watching Marvel movies and stuff. So we'll see. I don't really know yet.
Same way says McKay. It's already too late. You are a famous YouTuber.
False.
Yeah. Have your subscribers gone up like
No, they've been
at
consistently
all
like
for the
slowly
past
going down.
2 years? Yeah.
No, I'm gonna dip under 20,000 at some point,
Oh
which will
really?
be
Wow.
it's at
That's
like 20,150 right now.
wow.
So it's probably gonna dip at some point, which is annoying because like 20,000 just is a better number, but like it sounds better than 19,000, but I don't really care.
Yeah, you can still round it.
Yeah.
Oh, she has a drawing of Zim because she loves him so much. Oh, that's great. That's
Hoot.
adorable. Welcome back, Simmer.
Oh, and I'm thinking of getting a real job, so like then I wouldn't even like have as much time to make videos, so I'd probably focus on the ones that I think are actually more funny, which is the ones with us as a group. Not that Ethan and I aren't funny together, because we are, but we just like She-Ra's over, so we don't watch that anymore, and we don't care as much about the Dragon Prince, so I feel like there's not as much that would be funny. I don't know.
Mhm.
You know?
Stella says, got it. I'm now going to make fan art of you guys as said dragons now. Might take me more than a week, though. That's so cool! And like McKay just said, she likes it better when Kat and Shrimmy are there, so now you need to make 2 new dragons. I'm completely kidding. I'm sorry. I'm joking. I'm joking. That's so cool. Samway says, can I be a dragon?
Oh,
You're going to get all these requests now. You should open up commissions, and like, if other people want to be dragons, they can pay you. Just so you don't get
Ethan,
like overwhelmed. Huh?
Did you send me my dragon picture or just show it on screen?
Uh, truly, I don't remember. I can send it to you if you need it. If I
Oh, you
will.
did send it. Okay, I'm
Did
just
I?
crazy.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Let
Yeah,
me see
I'll
if I saved it on my phone 'cause I don't even remember.
yeah, yours is so
I think
cool. Where is the
I
let's
am so purple and pink.
we
Okay, I
have not
did save
shown
it.
it
I'm
this
just forgetting
stream.
everything.
Let's expose whatever we talked about. There it is. Very cool. Wow, you're so fancy.
I am so fancy.
Beautiful. And there's the
Thank you.
fish.
Then yes, the fish.
Good stuff.
Adequate fish space for Yelena.
Hopefully I didn't expose anything important in our chats there. I don't know if we have.
Oh.
Hmm, let's see. You want me to draw you as a dragon too, Sam? Yes, everybody be dragons! Woo! That's gonna be the definition of the fan base now. I don't know. um, man, chat is going. No, Ethan, my name is Shimmer. Can you say it
Oh my
right? Oh my
gosh.
gosh, I'm gonna cry. I wonder why people are dropping McKay. Are they doing it like a human or a horse?
What?
Huh?
I mean, they're
What
probably just
horses
not.
do you know that are clopping in and hitting the unsubscribe button with their big old hoof?
I mean, I think it's just because I
To the
don't
glue
really make
factory.
the same content as I used to. Like, it used to be just like cartoons, like She-Ra and Dragon Prince and stuff. And now we're doing like Marvel movies and like other random movies, like Jurassic Park. That's what I'm editing right now. So I can totally understand why it wouldn't appeal to like the same demographic that it used to. Um, and like even our this past season, the Dragon Prince didn't do nearly as well as the previous ones. And that's probably honestly just because like it's been a while. Like there was a really long hiatus, and I even took a hiatus for a while because I got really burnt out because these videos take so long to edit. Um, so yeah, I think it's just a matter of like it had been a long time, so maybe people have moved on, and then also my content just isn't really like the same. We're not basing it on the same source material anymore. It's not really cartoons anymore. It's like live action movies and Marvel stuff. Um, but I can thankfully say that I genuinely don't really care that the views are way down because I don't want to be a famous YouTuber anymore. Because that sounds exhausting and stressful. I just am doing this as a hobby and because I think it's funny. So, yeah, that's why I kind of didn't mind rebranding my channel to make it more PG-13,
PJ!
not PG,
No!
PJ-13.
Justice for
Uh,
PJ!
PJ. Yeah, because it's just stuff that I think is funny now, and I don't really care about like appealing to a certain audience. I'm just like, if people find it funny, then we'll get along well. If not, they don't have to watch. It's whatever. So,
Abdev says we're gonna have a dragon army now. Stella says, you know what? I'm open for dragon commissions now. For you to just give me a
oh
base
boy,
unlimited colors. That's so funny. We're gonna have an
wow,
entire
that's
army
great.
to invade someone with. uh, yes, McKay has seen the rocket fan art. It was very
Oh
funny.
boy, it was crazy.
Can I be the base element of toaster and colors be the colors of Tootie
Tootie
batons?
What does that even mean?
That sounds like some British term, like poppycock and boondoggle, and I don't know, just all those fancy, goofy words.
Oh my gosh, Ethan, when
What?
you tried to be British in the Jurassic Park video, you had such a stroke. It was amazing. I
Oh
can't wait
no.
for you to see it. So good.
Yay. Bro, I'm trying to play Skyrim while listening to this stream, and I've been on a loading screen for 5 minutes. Oof!
No.
Yike, your computer is committing Sudoku.
Sudoku.
Samboy says, wait, y'all are sassing Jurassic Park? Yes, we did do a
Yes.
Oh my gosh, there's like 25 billion more chat messages, and I just read one from 20 seconds ago. That's crazy.
Ah.
We're never gonna get to reading again.
Okay, well, most of them are
VeggieTales.
just. I
Stella,
think
you're
we're
very good
good.
at drawing. Yes, clap and a half to you. That was more than a clap and a half. You get bonus. It's so pretty. Ah, it's true. Y'all are doing Jurassic Park sassing. Yes, we watched it
Yeah,
already.
we felt like watching the dinosaurs.
Yep, yep. It was a while ago. I don't remember how long, but we
It was a
recorded it a
couple
while
months,
ago.
yeah.
It takes a while to get through all this stuff McKay's editing.
Yeah, because I choose the footage that I remember being the funniest, and I edit that regardless of when it was filmed.
Yeah, there's a couple things we filmed a while ago, but they just weren't as funny, so they
I
have
think
been
this is the
ignored.
oldest one, actually, Jurassic Park.
Really?
And then from
Huh.
there it goes forward, I think.
Interesting.
Because we also did Indiana Jones and we did Pirates of the Caribbean.
Hmm.
Um, Hold on. I'm gonna give you guys spoilers. Let me look up my list right now.
Spoilers.
So we have Jurassic Park, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Incredibles, Indiana Jones, Shrek, and then two videos that probably will have like very little content from them because we didn't say anything, which are Black
Hmm.
Adam and Everything Everywhere All at Once. So those two would be like probably squished together into one short video.
Oh yeah, I think Shroomy had to leave halfway through Black Adam, so it was just
More like
McKay and I.
20 minutes into Black Adam,
Oh,
so it was just us, and I felt
yeah.
awkward like saying very much because we didn't know what was going on with Shroomy because that was what was going on
Oh,
during that time.
I don't
So
actually. I don't remember. Oh, was he?
that
Was
was
that like before the funeral?
no, that was stuff was
I
happening.
don't. I don't remember that far back.
I'm gonna
I'm sure something important happened. It's fine. I believe you.
Okay, well, yeah, I just felt awkward because, yeah, I didn't want to like make it a super fun sassing recording when he had to leave, 20 minutes in. So, yeah.
You're making it sound like he died. I don't remember what happened.
Oh
I'm
my God.
sorry.
You need me to text it to you so that you don't show it on stream.
I'm not. It's fine. I don't need to. I'm not even. It just. You can tell me later.
Okay.
Do Shazam 1 and 2. Oh my gosh. So many things that could be sassed. Are you gonna sass Jurassic World Domination? I don't even.
Domination. Jurassic World redacted.
Oh, Dominion. Sorry. I don't even know how many Jurassic World videos there
I don't
are.
either.
Are there like 6 or something now? I
There's a lot of them.
don't even know.
I would be open to watching more Jurassic Park because it's just fun dinosaurs, but we don't really have plans at this point. We just kind of watch what we feel like.
I'm so behind on the modern stuff. In fact, I don't think I've even seen the original like Jurassic Park 2 or Jurassic Park 3. I think I've only seen the
What
original
even
Jurassic
is the
Park
second one? Hold
and
on.
the like reboot Jurassic World #1. And then there's like 8 other movies about dinosaurs now that I just have not heard about or care about.
Okay,
So that would be a lot to catch up on.
there's Jurassic Park, then there's The Lost World Jurassic Park from 1997, so only 4 years later.
That's when
Then
I
Jurassic
was
Park.
born.
Oh yeah,
I done
Jurassic
got
Park
birthed.
3 in 2001, and then we skip 14 years and there's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. The heck is Battle at Big Rock? I've never heard of that in my life.
I
And
don't
then
know.
Jurassic World Dominion. So apparently there was a trilogy back in the 90s and then a
Mm.
reboot of Jurassic World.
Hmm.
Cool.
Anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading.
Okay.
Where did we leave off?
As they were walking, do you want me to read since I'm there?
Sure.
As they began walking once more, the bodies began to look fresher, perhaps because the people had died more recently, or because the rain was falling on their dry wounds and making them somehow look even more horrible. Either way, the rain continued to fall harder, transforming from a gentle sprinkle into I can't talk into a full-on
Sprinkle.
downpour. Saphira sputtered, blowing water out of her nose as her shirt became drenched by the cascade. Sadly, she still needed to breathe through it, seeing as the airborne dust was still all around, though it seemed to be thinning slightly as the ash beneath her feet began to get waterlogged. Thunder crashed again, joining the sounds of millions of raindrops hitting the ground. At least it muffles the sounds of travel, Saphira thought to herself. Then again, we also can't hear any danger. A drop of water flowed off Saphira's eyebrow and into her eye.
I stopped bolding them.
Yeah, you did. Wafla.
Inconsistent.
Saphira blinked it away in annoyance, trying to let the rain clear it out. The rain was now so thick it was difficult to see distant objects, even as the rain began to wash away the dirt in the air. She looked down at the street below her feet, seeing the rain mixed with the soot of brick dust from collapsed building debris lining the street, and the blood of the fallen forming a disgusting thick sludge as they walked. Saphira set her jaw decidedly, and refused to look down on it, only to notice more of the same red and grey water dripping down the walls from higher in the city, making the peaceful white stones of her home look like they were bleeding and covered in filth. Saphira looked on in somber disgust, watching the very blood of her city draining away slowly, tainting everything it touched. But the rain kept falling and
It's
washing away
so
the stains of war.
deep and it's a simile that you can smile at or
Smiling at it.
such
The farther across
allegories.
the city they watched, the cleaner the muck became beneath their feet, until they had passed out of the war zone and were walking through the dark puddles of mere ash and water. Thick, grimy foam collected along the sides of the street where water flowed, trying to drain away from the ruin and restore some semblance of the street beneath. but the waterfalls of tainted water still left streaks of discoloration in the small craters of every stone. At long last, Malthus and Saphira reached the northeast wall of the city without encountering any more guards. Saphira finally dropped her shirt away from her nose and mouth, noticing that the dust in the air had mostly been eliminated by the rain. It was quite dark now, save for the occasional lightning strike. It was probably evening at this point, though the thick black clouds overhead blocked any sun, moon, or stars that attempted to shed light on the land, leaving the world in nothing but dim, fading light. Malthus turned to her, brandishing the cannon.
Well, I guess we made it. Malthus smiled, holding the blast cannon out to her. Hopefully this thing can do what we need.
Try it out. Saphira gestured for him to keep it, and took a few steps back. Malthus nodded, turning the gun to study the various controls. After a moment, he shrugged, pressing one of the buttons as he aimed the end of the gun at the city wall. Thunk. There was a mechanical sound of metal moving within the war machine. Then silence. Nothing shot out of the gun. Malthus
Don't look
frowned,
at the
looking down
barrel.
at Malthus frowned, looking down at the device in confusion. He tried pressing another button. The cannon emitted a sound of gears interlocking and some kind of tension building. The faint echoes of whirring machinery echoed off the nearby buildings, punctuated by the cascading raindrop symphony in the background. Then silence once more. The gun still refused to fire. Malthus flipped it over suspiciously, taking a look at the handle he was using to hold the gun. Sure enough, there was a trigger there. He gave Saphira a sheepish smile and dropped the gun back to a stable position where the recoil would not hurt him. Malthus pulled the trigger. A loud metal thud emanated from the barrel of the gun, along with the fiery explosion that blasted outwards towards the city wall. A 10-foot semicircle of fire was formed in an instant as a wave of heat and expanding gases caused Saphira to recoil and forced Malthus to stumble back from the sheer force emerging from the cannon. Then the fire dissipated and the bright light faded back into the only dim light from the stormy sky.
Samwise says, I'm confused. They're just walking and there is ketchup everywhere.
Oh no!
It's supposed to be all like symbolic and stuff.
Wow.
After the events of this, the name of the city changes from Whitestone Hold to Bloodstone Hold, so I was like playing into the like brick dust and blood kind of mixing and kind of staining the stones that were once white and pristine, but now are kind of riddled with the wounds of war. Anyway, oh, see you, Stella. Have a good night. Thank you for hanging
Bye.
out. Whoa, cool. Commission for your drone dragon is free. Oh wait, I meant for you to charge money, but okay, cool. That's even more generous of you. Wow, you're so cool. A drimmer of drops falls from the sky, and no one knows why.
What?
That's you remember the poem?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the remix.
Icy cold hoverers.
Oh no. There's a lot of ketchup. Then where's Pikachu? Sam, you want Oreos? What?
I want Oreos.
Whoa.
It's the
Whoa.
best cookie.
Malthus breathed, watching a small tendril of smoke rise from the end of the cannon. Was that supposed to happen?
I don't know. Did it even shoot anything? Saphira replied as she examined the outer wall, which still stood 20 feet in front of Malthus and did not seem damaged at all.
Didn't seem like it. I think it just exploded. But it doesn't seem damaged? Malthus tilted the cannon to check the barrel.
Let's hurry up and try another button, Saphira urged, glancing over her shoulder nervously as the gun's echo faded away. Do you think maybe I should hold Rowan for now? She worried, noting how the cannon had forced Malthus to stumble backwards.
You have a point, Malthus agreed, setting the gun down for a moment and carefully taking off his backpack. Saphira took it gently and stole a peek inside. Sure enough, Rowan was peacefully snoozing atop some rolls of cloth, and he seemed to still be dry. Saphira smiled and slung the pack across her own back as cautiously as she could manage, both to avoid waking the sleeping child and also to prevent her ribs from snapping in half or exploding in pain once more. Unfortunately, her caution did not stop her sternum from crying out in pain again, forcing Saphira's breath to catch in her throat, but she still kept it in, refusing to cry out as she waited for the pain to subside and return to a manageable level. Malthus pressed another button as he lifted the gun again, yielding another metallic thunk sound. Then he pulled the trigger, causing a loud gunpowder blast, accompanied by the spinning of gears. A familiar spiky cannonball shot out of the muzzle of the gun at high speed and slammed into the outer wall of the city, where it exploded in a smaller ball of fire. Once again, the area was lit up by the bright display of fire, which quickly extinguished itself, and once again, the wall remained standing. This time, however, there was a small crater in scorch mark where the wall had been cracked and burned. but it certainly was not enough to bring down the massive wall before them. This thing really packs a punch, Malthus marveled, seeming impressed by the weapon. Weapon?
Just wait. Just wait, Saphira assured him with a measured breath, cringing as she listened to the repeating echoes of the exploding fireball. Are there any buttons on the gun that say Big Blue Laser or something?
Malthus studied the labels for a moment, squinting in the dim light. No, none of the labels make any sense except for the "Do Not Use" button.
I'll bet you anything it's the do not use button, Saphira started, thinking back to the mind-boggling effect she had witnessed.
Oh, that's great. Seb says, hello, I have had spaghetti. How be the fictional EJ
Hello.
romance? Oh, I will never have a girlfriend. It's going well.
We are
We've
we are
mostly
still in
just
the same
chatted.
chapter
Yeah, we have
because
not
it
made
is
much
so
progress.
long.
We've just been reading chat a lot. Martian Manhunter, blah blah blah. Oh no, so many. Sims 4. I love it. Hashtag glimmer.
Oh no.
The drummer of droplets fell from the sky, but no one knows why. Somewhere in the Walmart parking lot, this place doesn't make sense. It's called Walmart, but it doesn't sell walls. Plot
Whoa.
twist.
Just like in Walgreens, the walls aren't green.
Wow, I'm so angry. What? But it says do not use. What if it's not safe? Malthus argued, looking concerned.
I guarantee you that's the one we need.
What makes you so sure? What if it blows up and we can't get out of here at all? He fretted.
Trust me, that gun can do a lot more than shoot fireballs. I get the feeling there's a reason you're not supposed to use that button.
Why don't we try the other options first, just to be safe? Malthus offered.
I want to get us out of here as quick as possible. We're making a lot of racket.
We can be quick, Malthus promised, pressing another button. Oh, Saphira shrugged, crossing her arms. Sorry. Saphira turned out to be right, of course. After several more painfully slow minutes of testing functions of the gun, discovering varying flavors of cannonballs and mid-air fiery explosions, the pair of them were left with only one more button to press. Saphira continued watching, arms crossed, resisting the urge to say, I told you so. Alright, fine, I'm sorry. Malthus sighed, catching sight of Saphira's face. What exactly do I need to be prepared for?
Just make sure you aim it at the wall, she insisted sternly.
Thanks, that's super helpful. Malthus grumbled, pressing the forbidden button and readying himself with the trigger. A low electronic hum emanated from the gun as Malthus pressed the trigger, which quickly grew into a crescendo as a blue light built up within the barrel of the gun. Suddenly, a blinding blue beam connected the gun to the outer wall, almost as though the light had taken no time to travel. Rain hissed and evaporated as it fell onto the beam, and a horrible crunching sound of stone shearing away from stone began to fill the area as a 15-foot section of the outer wall began to crack and collapse in on itself, warping towards the beam. Saphira's vision blurred for a moment as a small circle of fire ignited around the edges of the affected part of the wall, and a bright flash of light exploded from the point where the beam impacted the wall. Then, with a zapping sound that almost resembled a pop, the beam was gone, and a section of the outer wall had simply phased out of existence, leaving nothing behind. Malthus blinked in astonishment, looking at the perfectly spherical hole that had appeared, cutting deep into the thick wall. However, the hole did not go deep enough into the wall in order to form an opening on the other side. On a more positive note, the wall remained standing, despite this sudden attack on its structural integrity.
Well, that's what it does, Saphira announced, gesturing to the frightening handiwork of the war machine. Malthus looked down at the black metal of the beast, watching the heavy rain continue to harmlessly beat down upon the exterior casing. Looks like we need a second blast, Saphira pointed out. Malthus shook his head in amazement, but took aim with the gun once more and pulled the trigger again. The beam struck the back of the first hole, creating a similar spectacle of fire and reality warping light, finishing with the otherworldly sound of 1,000 fragments of stone being pulled into infinity and then vanishing without a trace. A couple large rectangular stones fell from the ceiling of the new hole, slamming it into the ground with an earth-shaking thud. But it was done. There was now a full tunnel through the outer stone wall of the city, formed from two spherical craters. Saphira could see grass and trees on the other side of the wall. She smiled at her simile, beginning to walk forward as the deafening sounds of lasers and falling stones, imperceptible mechanical whirring, and constant rain continued to echo throughout the city in an indistinguishable cacophony of noise.
What is this thing? Malthus mumbled in shock, pressing a less dangerous button and carefully aiming the cannon at the ground as he began following her.
Something ridiculously powerful, I guess. It seems the magistrate just love inventing new ways to inflict pain, Saphira explained, cautiously stepping onto the newly created tunnel. The walls had been scorched black by the short-lived fire, and were not perfectly smooth, however the stone was still cool enough to walk across without danger.
Gotta hand it to you. You were right about this thing being our ticket out of here.
Thanks. I'm glad it was worth it. Saphira offered a weak smile as Malthus joined her in the dark tunnel.
So I guess we're home free now, Malthus noted, a hint of sadness. Oh, a hint of sadness in his voice. So I guess we're home free now.
Is that a bad thing? Saphira questioned, trying to look at him, but finding it too dark to see his face as they
He's gonna
navigated the
miss
uneven
her.
floor of the tunnel. Oh,
No, but I wish I could have helped more people out of the city, he admitted guiltily. I didn't even get to talk to half those people that are lying dead in the street.
hey, it's not your job to save everyone. You at least helped some. Saphira tried to comfort him as they avoided the tripping hazards and sidestepped the large stones that had fallen from the ceiling of the tunnel.
But did I do the right thing? Did I do the best I could have? Malthus mourned quietly as they emerged on the other side of the tunnel, allowing the rain to once again pour down on their heads, almost looking like tears falling down Malthus's face. So dramatic and edgy again.
Oh my gosh.
The outside of the city was a bare, grassy field, with only the smooth, white stone wall extending on either side behind him, and a forest lying several hundred feet before them. The light was still dim, and the rain was heavy. Mom spaghetti. Sorry. If there were any guards atop the wall, they would not likely see Malthus and Saphira slipping through the tall grass unless they were foolish enough to carry a light source on with them. Oh, unless Malthus and Saphira were. I was like, guards being foolish to carry light? What? Unless they were foolish enough to carry a light source with them.
I think you did, Saphira assured him after thinking for a moment. What more could you have done after getting captured? All you could do was get out, and you even came back to help Rowan and me as well.
Well, I left that halfling lady. Malthus reminded
The one
her.
that probably would have killed you in your sleep?
That's a good point. She was out to like eat faces or something. I don't trust her one bit.
Nope.
He reminded her in a forlorn mumble.
Listen, Malthus, you're gonna what if yourself to death if you think about every possible thing you could have done differently. It's okay, you did all you could, and there's nothing to regret.
What about Bucky?
Reliving the past doesn't change it.
It's so cap.
Wait, what about?
He's like, I didn't get Bucky out. Not everyone.
Oh, yeah! Oh my gosh.
I didn't even realize that this. It's just because I am Cap and I am Malthus, so it's no
Oh
wonder
my
that they're the
goodness.
same.
But would you go back and interrupt the other people she married?
Well, I mean, obviously it worked out for Malthus here. No time travel involved with his story. Let's see. 1 second. Let's scroll up in the chat. Hello, I'm Samwiser's Plays. I'm 10 foot and 8 inches, and I tend to lie about my height. That's funny. Oh yeah, and eating uncalled for objects. That's a good. That's a good time.
Yep.
Writer Super EJ. Starring Super EJ. Director Super EJ. CGI artist Super EJ.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
I
dear.
hope Brody didn't break
Starring
his back when he got rid of that
furries.
wall.
Great. No, these are scalies. Get it right. Ow! I punched the mic. I hope Rhodey didn't break his back when he got rid of that wall. Oh. No, babies named Rowan. No, no babies named Rowan were harmed during this film, with a rare appearance of EJ Damunk. That's the baby.
Hey, Izzy.
The rare wise J. Question: if I punch myself in the face and it hurts, does that mean I'm strong or weak?
Yes. That's what I would say.
That's funny.
Starlight says, does Mel keep up the tradition of EJ self-inserts?
Kind of.
Yes, but he's like not
He's a good self-insert.
incredibly edgy or incredibly overpowered.
He's his own character enough to where it's not like egregiously ridiculous or cringe.
Yeah, you didn't name him like Mal Ethan.
It's bad. It's not my evil twin.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Hello, Isabella Vlogs. Welcome to the party. Hope you're having a good one.
Hello.
It's pretty obvious that Ian and Evan are self-inserts of Ethan, but Malthus is too good if it's a character to be a self-insert. Hey, I'd like to think that I learned from writing my previous things so that I'm better at writing now than I used to be, and hopefully
yeah, this
with
was
every
only a couple
iteration.
years ago.
Yeah.
This isn't when he was an edgy teenager.
Yeah. And it was still written with a funky format, but I think I'm better at writing than I used to be.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I hope so as well. But
Seb says,
I feel
EJ, he
validated.
has a foot smiles at use of simile.
Ah, thank you. I think it means you can punch face, Seymour. I mean,
True.
Simmer. I'm sorry. No, it's. By the way, it's me from Twitch. Yeah, I know it's you. uh. Oh, you missed the last two streams, but your aim's getting better. But your aim's getting better. Yeah. Seb says, wasn't there an evil furry twin of Super EJ back in that series? In the Super EJ series?
Evil furry twin.
Evil furry twin?
Can't remember that.
Oh, there was an evil twin, but I don't think he had anything to do with fur. I don't know where you're getting that. There was an evil cyborg
Shemar,
version
Ethan,
too.
Shemar!
Oh my gosh! I'm just gonna call you, what's something completely different that I can call you that'll just, like, make nobody happy? Can I call you, like,
um,
dumbbell sandwich or something? I'm sorry. Sam says, I'm surprised EJ got that reference. Oh, what reference?
Your aim is getting better?
Yeah, yeah. Swagger says, at what age did you realize Super EJ was cringe? Like, did you think it was cringe as an edgelord 16-year-old, or did cringe come later? You know, I think it was kind of a gradient. So I don't know if there was a specific point at which I would go, oh, the change has been made, now that's cringe. I remember that when I was still writing the story that I made when I was 11, like from 11 to 13 is when I worked on it a whole lot, but then I kind of got busy or tired or either lost interest or just got overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the project because it had swelled to unreasonable proportions at that point, and I kind of abandoned the project for a bit. And when I started writing my new story about being edgy and stuff, at that point, I don't know if I would have said, "Oh, my old story was cringy," but I definitely would have said, "I'm definitely not going to go back to it. It's too messed up for me to bother with." Maybe I still had dreams for it at that point, but I definitely had like abandoned working on it, and I wasn't like excited about it. And over time, I I was like, yeah, it's probably not good, but I'm too scared to go back and read it, and that's why I never looked back at it for all those years. And reading it back again, whenever we read it on stream, that was my genuine first time having read it or seen it in who
So
knows how
good.
long. So I knew it was going to be bad. I just didn't know how bad. Because I was like, part of me in my heart was still like, when I was a youngster and I was writing it, I was doing my best. I tried my hardest. And I was like, man, this is the best thing ever. So part of me was like, man, I kind of hope it's good. I could be a prodigy or something. It wasn't good though. So it was an 11-year-old's work. So yeah, it made sense that it wasn't the best. But yeah, I don't know when I would have, decided that it was cringe when I matured enough because I didn't actually read it during any of that time. That was a really long answer to a question that didn't need to be that long. I'm sorry.
Seb says, see, my writing was never cringe. Even my cringe writing wasn't cringe.
Mm.
Foot rack.
Foo track, yep. I love it.
I love foot rack.
I bet you didn't think it was cringe, but more like, aw, Super EJ is just baby stuff. My edgy story is clearly so much cooler. I don't think I ever went, oh man, my previous story is so immature, that's why I'm moving on. I think I just more was like, I've got a different story that I'm passionate about, and the other thing is such a mess that I don't want to bother trying to sort out my many, many ideas that I tried to cram in there.
Starlight says, wait, why does Mel not have a crisis about how romance is bad every time Saf looks at him?
Well, maybe he
It's not
is.
from it's not from his
Maybe,
perspective,
yeah,
guys.
exactly. You don't know what's going on in his head. Maybe he is freaking out, and that's why he hasn't made a move yet.
Yeah,
This is
he just
being
has
told from Saphir's
an
point of
entire
view.
freaking essay every time she even looks at him. He goes, oh, but I might like her, but I can't do that because, oh, I'm such a mess, and oh, it would ruin my life, and oh, I don't need girls, but also, oh, she's so attracted to me because I'm so attractive with my 900 abs.
Wow. And we don't even get every thought that Saphir is having. We're only seeing, some of her thoughts. And I think the like asides of seeing her thoughts kind of get less and less as the time goes on. So yeah, the romance is just kind of like between the lines here so far. Eventually we'll get there probably, maybe. Uh, I made emotional writing. Just leave out the emotion.
Oh,
Why do we put round pizza in a square box and eat it in triangles?
because
Someone take him out. He's
rebel.
discovered the secrets. We need a hit squad on on aisle 4.
Oh no. What
I,
what kind of grocery store
I
is hit me?
don't know. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. I always enjoy hearing that other people have written a story and they want to publish it someday. That's super cool. Or at least finish it someday. Very
I
nice.
wish I had.
You do it. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. I had a weird Twilight as story as a 10-year-old, but I deleted all documents and I'm so angry about it because I could have looked back at it and gone, wow, I've improved. Yeah, that's why I've kind of obsessively kept all history of most things I've done instead of like deleting them. And even like old YouTube videos and stuff, the ones that are really, really bad, most of them are still out there. Just
I just
because
private mine. I
it
don't delete them,
shows
but I private
my
them.
progress. Well, except for all those other ones that you did delete, or Gracie
What
deleted,
did I
or some.
delete?
I don't know. Somehow we lost a lot of them, or you and
We did.
Gracie did.
I still
Many
have
of your
all of the Freaky
parodies.
Fangirl stuff. It's just on a hard drive.
Well, I think this was even before that, though. Wasn't there
Really?
like?
Did I do anything before
Did you
that?
lose the Sauron ring one and the
Well,
other
because that was
parodies?
never posted anywhere. That just got corrupted on the little
Okay.
phone app we used to edit
Oh,
it.
I was under the impression that you deleted a couple channels and lost a lot of videos of your like
I don't
original old
think that
stuff.
I did.
Hmm.
There might be a couple videos here and there that didn't get
Okay.
saved, but I don't remember doing that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I
Well, at
know I
least we don't have
deleted
to
some
mourn too
stories
much
that
of
I
a
wrote.
loss. Yeah, you
I
deleted a lot of
deleted
those
some, but they were
warrior
like, I
cats
don't think they were ever that long though. So like,
restarted.
it's not that much of a loss.
Yeah, you
I
you've
wish I still had my Warrior Cat fanfictions though. That'd
oh
be
yeah.
great.
It seems like you've constantly kind of been holding yourself back. Like you always like start spinning your wheels and then you immediately like quit and delete it and restart and then you quit and restart. You're really good at starting, but you never like actually carry something through to learn the lessons from the failure.
Whoa,
I
what? What does that mean?
well, I'm just saying if you begin a failure and then you go ahead and finish it out anyway, you learn a lot more from the whole process of failing miserably.
Are you
But
sure that
instead of just
writing and finishing a really bad fanfiction would have taught me a life lesson?
well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to be like needlessly philosophical and
Oh, okay, because you're edgy.
mm-hmm.
I still have bits and pieces of little
I'm
fanfictions
such
I've
a
written, but
writing expert, my
we could
guys.
get like all of them done in one stream because none of mine got very far because I would like I don't know.
I could
I
read
don't
the
know why
one
I
that
would
you
stop.
sent me the other day. Okay.
Hey,
I'm
but if we
kidding. I
did that
haven't
one,
seen
you
it
know
yet.
you'd have to wait for when Silver's here because it had
Oh.
very slight connections to Ruby.
Okay. Yeah, like this one has very slight connections to paladins.
We could read like one of my Percy Jackson ones or something. I don't
Oh.
know.
Let's see. I thought I saw an old video of McKay looking at an old Warrior Cats animation.
It was a Bit Strips comic. I made an
Mm-hmm.
old video where I looked back at my comics, and there were a couple Warrior Cat ones.
Mm-hmm. I would love to read your cringy story. Seb says, I've never written a fanfic, however, I did contribute
Fanfic.
slightly to the Remy times EJ fanfics
Yes,
some people were writing a while ago. I
I
feel like we
remember
read
that.
that on stream, but I can't
We did.
remember anything from it. I've clearly blocked it out because it was too traumatic for me, or maybe too accurate, and I just didn't want to admit that I was, a furry for a mouse. I don't know.
He's
I
a rat.
oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I just misgendered my love.
Misgendered? What?
Misspeciesed. I this needs to
I didn't
stop.
know rat was a gender.
Don't take this conversation out of context.
My gender is rat.
What?
You said
No. I don't even know if I could tell you where that is. It wasn't multiple streams. It was just someone sent me this odd fanfic that I really don't know how that joke even got started. It
Don't
wasn't
either.
it wasn't anything to do with me, I guarantee you. I never said anything remotely close to having a crush on a rat, but for some reason people started saying that I needed to be shipped with Remy from Ratatouille, and that's the joke now, I guess.
Yep.
Could you make a vid of it? I really don't know where it is. It's somewhere in the past live streams
And it wasn't
playlist.
very long
Just
either. So like
hidden
I'm
a 20-minute nugget of wisdom or funniness somewhere in one of the 5-hour streams from many months ago. Good luck finding it. I mean, maybe you could find it if you just kind of like scroll through until you see a document that we're reading, and if it's not on the like Super EJ or something, then maybe that's it. I don't know, but I really don't know how to find it.
I don't either.
Why are you getting the hots for a mouse? I don't. I never have. I don't know why this joke exists. I am kind of uncomfortable with it, honestly. I really don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I do. I know how I feel about it. I don't know how they expect me to feel about it. I don't like it. But it's too late to stop them now. It's like a cult. Anyway, um, now Sub's gonna make make a angry post about how I'm, making Remy sad by disavowing him on stream. Samboy says, "I'm a Roomba."
True.
I identify as a tank. What the heck? Stop simping for rats! Ah! EJ equals rat. Great. Can't find the fin? You can't find it? Oh, now I need to look it up. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if it was shared with me, maybe. Wow, my computer's slow. It's not like I'm streaming and also... I don't know. Would you like a restraining order? The only acceptable animal crush is Roxanne from a Goofy movie?
I have not seen that, so I would
Neither
not
have
know.
I. Why am I looking this up? I truly don't know. Just because yeah, she doesn't even look like an animal at all. She's just a person, but with a nose that looks non-human. That's literally the only distinguishing feature as to why she's not a human. That's not even... I've inhaled nothing and died on it. I'm sorry.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, that's not even, like, furry.
Oh my gosh.
What am I looking
Doctor
for?
Who parody lyrics. No.
Oh, there's so much stuff here. Man, there's so...
I'm looking at my shared documents too.
I could probably expose myself by accident. Oh, I really want to read through these someday. There's so much goody stuff. Oh, we could read through the scripts that we didn't use for Sylvie Therapy. There's all kinds of
Ugh.
stuff. Oh, I forgot we were rewriting Hawkeye at one point. I don't even know what that is.
We did all of that on stream though.
No, we didn't. Wait, what? What are you talking about?
All of
The
the Hawkeye
Hiki? Oh
rewriting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's pretty.
Psychopath Gate.
I think we're done with that. It's too far gone. I don't care anymore about that one. Another abandoned project. What am I looking for again? Ah, yes, Remy. No results. Okay, well, it must have been shared with me and then subsequently deleted or something. Maybe. I don't know.
What
Remy?
is this?
Hmm.
I'm so confused. I don't know what that is.
Anyway, I'm sure it
What
exists
is
somewhere,
this?
but I don't know where.
Okay, I'm looking on my drive. I
Haha!
think I'm
My immortal levels of badness. Oh no. Oh. You
what is
know,
this? Oh.
imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So on the one hand, having fan fictions made about something you've made is cool, but on the other hand, it just feels like a desecration of everything you've poured your heart and soul into. So in that sense, it's a little ugh. I don't
I have a
know.
bunch of Gracie's essays on my Google Drive because I used to edit them for her and she would share them with me.
Ethan, you need help. Seb says, they better not have deleted the Remy fanfic. Grr, I'm gonna be so mad. Why does he
What the
delete the
heck is
Remy?
Detective
He doesn't
Tales? What
actually
does
like
that
Remy.
mean?
Oh, is that why I need help? Because of the Remy?
I don't know what this is. I can't find the Remy fanfic either. I guess it's just
I don't know.
gone. I don't know.
It's removed from existence as it should be. I did it. I'll take credit for
No.
it. Starlight says, I think it's different if you like a character who has many people qualities and you're attracted to the people qualities. Ah, so we're talking about like the sapio, like that kind of attraction instead of the actual physical attributes. Yeah, and in that respect, you could fall in love with any personality. Like, you could be talking to someone on the phone and develop a long relationship with them, or online, and not know what they look like in person, never have seen their face or whatever. Of course, that's how creeps get involved, but yeah, sometimes that's a valid way to build a relationship. And then, okay, I guess yeah, it could happen to be like for fictional characters. Yeah, I guess they don't always have to be human, but I don't know. At least they're fictional. So
Give me
there's
back
a
my
real
Remy
person behind it.
fanfic, you scallywag.
Oh dear.
Swagger says, honestly, we should all write fanfiction about Super EJ or Edgy EJ and force y'all to read them.
That you could. You certainly
Simmer
could.
says, this is off topic, but McKay, you look very pretty with short hair. Oh, thank
Aw.
you. Wait, where did you even see me with short hair? Were you showing a picture of me, EA?
Just now? I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, I don't know how you came to that conclusion, but thank you.
Maybe it was in that video recently where the one I said you looked pretty in, or did you not have short hair? I think you had longer
No, I
hair.
had long hair back then.
Phone, please
I didn't even
cease.
think I looked particularly pretty in that picture.
Well, I did. So take that. Even
Aw.
when you're mid levels of pretty, you're still pretty. Ha. Get wrecked.
Oh, I'm so pretty.
Flirt.
I like not having as much acne anymore.
Oh, that's good.
I got Curology, and it's been working.
Curology. Whoa.
Not
That's like the
urology.
ology of. I didn't say that.
I heard urology.
Discord must have cut out my C. Disord.
I will
uh,
gladly submit my General Grievous X Fennec Sean fanfic for reading. Oh no.
I don't know who
Ooh,
Fennec Shand is, but I
I
don't
don't
want
either.
General Grievous ship with anyone ever. That's just cursed. That's so cursed. We will now transition the subject back to reading the story.
Okay.
Seb did write Super EJ fanfiction. It got read in one of the Super EJ streams. I
Oh, I
forgot
do
about
vaguely
that. That's
remember
so
that.
funny. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
And there was
Man.
that great art that someone made with you holding the sword with your abs.
Yes. You know, they say that there's nothing new under the sun. Every story that we make is just a retelling of, what has come before and like our experiences being remixed and everything. So nothing is ever truly original. And we're all just like kind of being a small part woven in the tapestry of God's immense creation. But at the same time, I'm glad that everything's a reposted meme, and it just gets more and more hilarious because we're just extending these jokes farther than they ever meant to go, and it's great. This is the stupidity I live for. Where
Bro was slamming it into a door frame over and over. I don't even remember that.
I I don't know.
Simmer says, I don't know, I just said it because you look pretty. Oh, thank you. Are
uh,
you watching me right now?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom while you catch up with chat. I'll be right back.
How you had all day to pee. How could you do this? Um, General Grievous looks like a tiny long leg. Simmer says, that was the funniest thing I've ever heard. Oh no, I'm so concerned about that. I've had spiders in my bathroom, and like they wait to show themselves until I like have completely undressed to take a shower, and then I have to like kill a spider while I'm like completely naked, so that's really cool and fun. Yeah, that happened twice. Simmer says maybe I'm watching you from Canada, McKay. That's crazy. I must look like a very tiny dot. The door frame bent. Oh no. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that Remy fanfic. That's so sad. Starlight says, you're not trying to be clothed when the spider comes? No, I am in fact not trying to be clothed. Swagger says, how do I join the Discord? Would you like a link? I will provide one. Hold on, once I can figure out how to get to my own Discord. Okay. Invite. Copy. Okay. Here is the link.
I'm back.
You're back. Seb
I'm
says
back.
Silver's going to Texas or is in Texas to meet Penn right now. I know, I saw that. That's really cool.
Pengu?
No, Penn.
Who's Pen?
Pendragon.
Oh, Pendragon. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry. That was my contribution to the conversation.
How dare you?
How do I join the Discord? Are
I
you?
sent a link.
Ah! Okay.
I made him scream.
I screamed yes. Where did you send the link?
In the chat. Did it not show up?
Oh, I don't see it. Oh,
What?
I do see it. Sorry, I'm dumb.
Okay.
Whoa, amazing.
Simmer says, ew, stop burping. How dare you?
I'm sorry. It just kind of snuck up on me, and I don't know.
Oh, Swagger's in my Discord. I wave.
Wow.
My computer
I'm
is...
so unhappy with the blonde guy in the stream. I don't like him today. Well, you know what? What did I say I was gonna call you? The jar of, snake popping out with spring and that prank. I was gonna call you another inanimate object just to be funny, but I failed so badly to come
Oh
up with
my
a proper term
gosh.
that describes it
I'm
and
so
encapsulates it
confused.
succinctly. I I absolutely failed. Yep, I'm unhappy with myself too today. It's okay.
No, me so mean.
No, I'm an idiot. That's what I am.
You're so
I'm
mean, bro. I'm crying.
I'm so sorry.
This is
Pat
making
pat,
me
I give
laugh.
you head pat. Is that okay?
Swagger says, what's the main chat for talking? Any of them, but mainly just
Whichever you want.
vibing. If you don't have like a specific topic,
There's
you
9
can just
people
go in
watching. I don't
vibing.
know which channel people are on.
That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about my Discord, you silly boy.
Okay. Anyway, let's see. But I could still. He protested sullenly before being cut off by Saphira holding up a hand.
Shh, I don't want to hear it. You did what you thought was best in the moment, and that's all you can do. Don't beat yourself up about it, she advised, trying to be sympathetic. Malthus closed his mouth, still looking down. Relax, we're home free now, remember? We can go off and start new lives along with all those other survivors that you helped get to safety. She poked his chest and pushed him jokingly to emphasize who she was talking about.
Better be
He
careful.
was
He's
too
gonna
big.
poke back and you are going to cry. You're gonna
Oh no!
snap like a twig.
That would actually be so good if that
Oh
happened, because then,
no.
oh, you'd get the guilt of him being like, oh
Oh
no, I hurt her.
no.
So good. I'm so good at tropes.
Yep.
He was too big to even be knocked off balance by the gesture.
Maybe you're home free. Maybe you all are home free. Malthus sighed, looking up to meet her eyes. But they know my name. They'll be looking for me wherever I go.
Oh. She had forgotten about the magistrate's omnipresent vengeance on any they had deemed undesirable. It looked almost like there was a hint of fear in Malthus's eyes, and as he looked to her for help. Can you change your name then?
I
Maybe
am
hide for
Bob! Sorry.
them? You could stay with my family of Dragonborn if you wanted to blend in for a while, she offered. Malthus shook his head sadly.
I'd still be found out. There's no point in trying to live a lie. All I can do is trying to make a deal with the magistrate or serve my sentence.
A deal? What kind of deal? Saphira questioned suspiciously. Malthus shrugged.
Haven't figured that out yet, but hopefully something better than a life in prison, Malthus postulated.
Assuming there's anything you could offer them that would make it worth their while, Saphira ridiculed. Malthus nodded sadly. I'm sorry about your predicament, I really am, but we should get moving, Saphira mentioned after a moment of awkward silence. Malthus nodded again, and the two of them stepped out of the shadow of the city wall and began wading their way through the tall grass outside the city on their way to the forest beyond.
So I guess I'll just lead you to the evacuation point, and you can help the survivors make their way to Trinity Hills or Jade Gardens or to start living new lives or whatever Malthus planned.
Me? Why me? Saphira protested, trying to keep her voice down in case of guards topped the wall.
Because I doubt there's anyone left in the city for me to help, so I'm going to see if I can help anyone get out of the magistrate refugee camp.
What? You're going to go back? You're only going to get yourself caught. I need to stay with my family, and I'm not going to lead a whole group of...
Well, what if your family's in the refugee camp? Malthus cut her off. Sophia remained in shocked silence for a moment, unable to respond.
Oh, they better not be, Saphira grumbled threateningly as she continued to fight her way through the tall grass as stealthily as possible. Finally, the pair reached the edge of the forest and disappeared into the safety of the tree line. Malthus turned back to scan the rainy field, looking for any signs of pursuers. It seemed they had made a clean escape, with no one to be seen.
You think we should fire one more blast behind us at a different part of the wall to throw them off or something? Malthius asked.
No! Are you nuts? We don't want to draw any more attention to ourselves, she scolded him, looking across the empty field toward the looming outer wall of the city. It looked almost peaceful, hiding the death and destruction behind a deceptive facade of smooth white stone. Well, smooth except for the new hole in the wall and the collapsed section to the left where Tom and Samuel had busted out.
Fine, sheesh. Malthius turned and began walking into the woods, still holding the gun and shield as he began pushing his way through a bush. Saphira thought she heard another metallic ticking sound, just barely audible over the sound of rain slapping down upon the leaves of the forest, but as she turned to scan the field once more, she saw nothing but heavy rain and an endless sea of grass.
Stop for a second, Saphira whispered to him, tilting her head to listen to the noise. Malthus stopped and turned in confusion, holding a war machine squarely in the middle of a mess of branches and leaves which scraped against the metal until he remained silent for a moment.
What now? Malthius demanded, sounding slightly annoyed. He seemed anxious to keep moving. What
Thought I
now?
heard something, she replied, listening intently for anything other than the thousands of raindrops on leaves. Malthus turned his head back and forth a little, silently listening as well. There was nothing. After a few moments, Saphira took a few quiet steps towards Malthus and put her figurative ear against the hallway in a hallway in a bushed war machine. What?
Hallway?
I can't read. What is happening? Put her ear against the halfway in a bush war machine. There we go. That was really hard. The black metal
Poor
casing was
Brody.
warm, and there was a faint humming noise coming from within, but no metal clicking noises. Malthus met her eyes expectantly, his face seeming to ask if she was satisfied.
Do you still hear it? He inquired, carefully scanning the forest around them.
No, it sounded like a mechanical whirring. I thought I heard it before, too.
Is it the rain?
Do you think rain sounds like mechanical whirring? Saphira grumbled, putting her hands on her hips.
No, sorry. Malthius apologized, looking away. Could it have been the strange, super powerful gun that we barely know how to use?
Maybe. Have you heard it do anything without you pressing any buttons on it? She asked. Malthus fumbled at a loss.
I don't think so, but I don't exactly pay attention to every little charging noise this thing makes, he admitted, pulling it out of the bush. I'm mostly just concerned about not blowing my legs off with it.
Do you think you could have a tracker implanted somewhere in all that tech? Saphira wondered concernedly.
Excuse me? A tracker? He repeated with a worried tone.
Yeah, this seems like a pretty powerful weapon with a lot of different options. How hard would it be for them to also add some features to make sure they don't lose it? Like have it explode if it falls into enemy hands.
Yay!
She suggested, giving a wary look at the cannon. Yay?
Well, this thing can delete giant sections of the world. Anything's possible, I suppose. Malthus frowned down at the gun as well, considering for a moment. So, should we leave it behind to be safe? He asked reluctantly. Saphira clenched her teeth, disliking the idea of handing a terrifying war machine back to their enemies rather than continuing to use it against them. Then again, they had already escaped the city, which was the only reason they needed the cannon. If they can track the location of this gun, there's no way I'm bringing it back to the evacuation point. They already tried to make me lead them there once, Malthus grunted, setting the hefty gun on the wet ground.
I don't want them to get it back, though, Saphira complained. If we're gonna ditch it, can we throw it down a well or something?
Oh, we're in a forest, Malthus pointed out, stretching his arms wide and gesturing to the foliage around them. Do you see any wells around here?
You know what I mean, she shot back. We could bury it or hide it in a log or something. Just somehow make it harder for them to find.
Uh, if they can track it, it won't matter how well it's hidden, they'll still get it eventually.
Then can we destroy it for good?
That sounds dangerous. What if we make it explode and obliterate half the forest? He disagreed, shaking his head and sending large raindrops sliding off the end of his nose.
We could always just take a couple of pieces.
I I don't think this is worth our time. Let's just get out of here. Malthus sighed, beginning to walk off deeper into the forest, leaving the cannon on the ground.
What? We can't just leave it here on the outskirts of the forest, Saphira protested, reaching down to lift the black metal log once more. They'll find it immediately.
Who cares? If they find it, they find it. Or maybe they don't have a track on it and they lose it after all. Either way, you and I are going to be long gone trying to live normal lives where we won't ever see that thing again, right? He called over his shoulder in exasperation as he continued walking away. Saphira was left standing there dumbfounded as she clutched the cannon to her chest once again.
Don't you think it's a dumb idea to let the magistrate receive a powerful weapon to abuse more people with? Saphira argued hotly, beginning to trot after Malthus to catch up with his long strides.
Eh, he replied gruffly, shrugging his shoulders and keeping his gaze fixed ahead as she came alongside him. They are the established government, after all.
What? Saphira shouted angrily, almost dropping the cannon. And therefore you think they should be allowed to do whatever they want?
Nukes! No, Malthus replied calmly with a side eye, bombastic side eye at Saphira. I just think that the magistrate has been in charge of keeping peace across the realm for centuries, and they usually do their job. When citizens try to harness illegal crystal technology and it goes horribly wrong, the magistrate are the ones that come clean it up. When my father, the psychopath, goes pillaging random towns, the magistrate is tasked with helping the innocents. When a resistance rises up to attack Crosswind Hold, the magistrate comes and puts a stop to it. And when a riot breaks out in Whitestone Holds, the magistrate tries to restore peace.
Yeah, because the past few days have been so peaceful, Saphira sarcastically sassed, feeling rage begin to boil up inside her again.
The magistrate were trying to de-escalate the fighting.
Yeah, by bringing out a legion of soldiers armed with building buster blast guns, Saphira scoffed resentfully, gesturing her head back towards the shambles of her home city.
Well, keep in mind who started using those guns first, Malthus replied quietly. Saphira gave him a quizzical look.
Excuse me?
Those guns were invented by someone in the Resistance, maybe 10 years ago. The magistrate had to arm themselves with the same weaponry to keep up, Malthus replied, turning to Saphira as they continued walking through the forest. Turning to look at Saphira as they continued walking through the forest. She glared distrustfully, not sure if she believed him. I used to make one of the parts for those guns. I know my stuff, he explained with a shrug.
But they're so destructive. The innocent bystanders.
That's why the magistrate is so strict about confiscating blue crystals from the general public and controlling what technology gets made with them. It's safer for society.
But if the magistrate is the only one with that kind of power, then no one can hope to stand up to them when it's necessary. How is that safer for society? She challenged.
Gun control debate. Wee.
Oh boy.
At least we don't have random crazy citizens inventing more building busters and explosives, Malthus muttered.
Yes, crystal magic is powerful and can be abused for weaponry, Saphira admitted. But look at all the helpful mundane things it can do. It benefits everyone way more if the magistrate would just let people invent freely, but that's not even the part I have a problem with. What I want to know is why is our government focused more on stifling progress and banning children's toys than on clearing crime off the streets and treating its citizens with respect? Why are they confiscating and hoarding anything with the tiniest blue crystal instead of doing their job to keep us safe? The top officials are corrupt, making decisions based on power squabbles and wealth rather than the betterment of the realm. They're hard-hearted swamp of like-minded morons, each more interested in their own gain than in doing anything good for the world. Maybe they helped keep the peace before, but now they are the ones stirring up the trouble. I'm fed up with the crime and the oppression and the chaos, and so were so many of the citizens of the Whitestone Hold, she concluded, beginning to choke up. Oh, didn't read that in time. Malthus thought for a moment before responding.
Nobody talks like that. Nobody goes on just like a well eloquently planned monologue. Sorry.
That was one thing that would bother me about roleplay, because sometimes people would
Mm,
reply with like a whole paragraph, and I was like, nobody speaks like that long
yeah,
without like being interrupted.
yeah. Maybe that's a little unrealistic there, but I guess I just wanted to say this. I've done a lot of work for the magistrate, and I've done some against them, he admitted. Like I said, I don't think they always do the right thing. Sometimes they send out orders that sound nice on paper, but don't work out so well once they get carried out, especially if the soldiers enjoy their jobs too much. I agree the magistrate needs to get themselves organized and reform how they do things, but even so, they are the current established system, and the best way to change things is to peacefully talk with them like sensible people, instead of firing up a revolution and getting who knows how many people killed.
So your response to the brutal decimation of an entire city is to calmly submit a letter of complaint to the people that did it and politely
Oof.
ask them to stop. That's it? Really?
Well, what do you want to do? After 1,000 people died in a citywide brawl without even managing to breach the magistrate command post, do you want to go fight them yourself and die as well? Or do you expect to recruit another army to get mowed down by the or do you expect to recruit another army to get mowed down by the violence of a realm-wide political superpower? Oh, maybe you could track down the remains of the resistance even after they were nearly wiped out for trying the exact same thing, Melty suggested in a condescending tone, giving her a cold stare to establish his disapproval. It would cost countless lives to bring down even one hold, and even that would be little more than a blow to their pride since their power is distributed all across the realm. There's simply no force capable of delivering a substantial blow to the magistrate, let alone taking them down. Fighting them on any meaningful scale is tactical suicide, so I'd suggest trying to relax. Personally, I think there's wisdom in trying to make peace and talk things out until there's no other option.
Okay, we should look at the chat for a second.
Good idea. There was a lot of it that passed. I don't think the first, like, page or so is important. Just, like, I don't know. uh,
Starlight says, Shimmer, did you just speak to me?
Did I? On what? That's funny. See you, Abdab. I'm sorry that we were reading for a while, so this might be too
Bye.
late, but bye. Seb says the people in your story should find Torvald, and then he'd be like, "It's working! It's working!" and blow the magistrate away, and then squabble, and then swabble away into the horizon with his elegant waddle. Yes, absolutely. That's for the Paladins D&D campaign. Whenever we get that back.
Oh boy.
My father, the
My
psychopath. Wait, Malthus's father is a psychopath. Psychopath Kate.
yes.
Oh boy. Did everyone in this chat just switch to Discord? Lol. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Can't believe I made friends
Yeah, I
through a
gotta
live
check my
stream.
Discord.
Oh,
Apparently
that's
people are
great.
joining.
I'm happy for you guys. Question. What was the best thing before sliced bread?
Hmm.
Uh,
Probably like Jesus.
probably like unsliced bread, I would guess.
Emmanuel
Simmer!
Strike.
Simmer says the same thing. Simmer, I can't even, I don't even know what I'm trying to pronounce anymore. Shimmer, Simmer, I'm just saying them all so that you can't possibly get angry that I said the wrong one. You caught me monologuing!
Oh, ho, ho.
Quietly sits here with an army of Roombas. He's a Roomba bender. I'm scared.
He's Loki, god of Roombas.
Exactly. Ethan,
Yeah.
no. I'm sorry, Simmer. I'm
I
very
am
angry.
very angry with you right now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I have angered you. It will not happen again.
Doubt.
Probably will happen again. I don't know how to make you happy at this point.
Like, extremely mad.
Did they say that? Or
Yes.
I don't see
It's
that message.
pronounced Seymour.
What? That message hasn't arrived for me yet.
Really? Am I in the future?
I see it on the live stream, but I don't see it in the chat like
Whoa.
manager. What the heck? I'm
Are you
behind.
sure you're not scrolled?
No, I'm.
Weird.
There it goes. Now it came through. It's pronounced "I hate you."
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Okay, I hate you.
That is funny.
Dad joke intensifies.
Oh, there was something that I
oops.
said yesterday. It's not funny enough to explain. There was just a lot of potty humor happening with we had guests over yesterday and we were making so many stupid jokes.
Potty.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yes.
Oh, you're talking about they're chatting in Discord. Do they expect that to be right on stream now? That's one more thing to add to the.
I
Oh,
am not
no.
looking at Discord currently because there's too much going on.
Gotcha. Mhm.
I saw that 2 people joined, but I am not looking at the.
Anger go burr. Ew, why did I say that? Never mind. You
like
played
this
yourself.
person. This
Congratulations.
person is funny.
This person, is that their new title?
I hate you.
Oh no! You made your bed, now you gotta sleep in it. Calm down,
It's
Seymour.
pronounced with an aka. Young ladies, I rocked ya.
That's got one too many syllables, bub. Chucks through a wall.
No.
Oh dear.
Okay, back to being angry at Malthus.
Is Simmer an England name? Indian
Are you
name.
okay?
You said you were an Indian. That would make sense.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I think I am
I'm
funny
funny
too.
too.
Brilliant. Okay.
Anyway, there already is no other option, and the longer we wait, things will only get worse. For years, the people have been suffering under magistrate regulations on what crystals and weapons you can use and who can choose which jobs. But apparently, a scruffle in the market is now enough to bring the full fury of the magistrate down on the whole city, Saphira cried back in exasperation.
Well, suffering isn't all that bad in most places, Malthus corrected quietly.
Oh, just because you're some elite blacksmith for the magistrate and you don't experience the oppression doesn't mean there isn't any. It isn't there for the rest of us. She snarled back at him viciously. Oops, that wasn't very vicious. Oh well. He opened his mouth defensively to retort something, but then closed his eyes and mouth, thinking better of it. He shook his head and faced forward again, along with a frustrated sigh. Saphira turned forward as well, feeling at least 12 times more upset than Malthus looked. Her worries and whirlwind of thoughts from the back of her mind began to resurface, mixing with her deep hatred towards the one who had ruined everything Saphira had ever loved.
Can we just drop the gun in some cave and get to where we're going without being tracked? Malthus grumbled, eyes fixed ahead as he continued to stride purposely into the dark woods, while the rainfall on the leaves muffled his footsteps. Saphira looked down at the gun in her arms, even less excited to abandon it now. What if her family wasn't safe after all? What if she left the gun behind only to soon discover that she had nothing left to live for but revenge? Wouldn't it be better to keep the gun and use it while she had the chance? This gun was powerful enough to do a lot of damage. Maybe the magistrate tower should fall after all. Even if she died in the process, at least it would show that they couldn't get away with their crimes without paying for it. Perhaps this was the best time to strike? The magistrate was still cleaning up an entire city of chaos. They might be distracted if she made her move now. Saphira, Malthus pleaded tiredly, as Saphira slowed her pace, still contemplating the cannon with a pained look on her face. Her thoughts were compounding upon her loathing of the magistrate, forming a swirling storm of emotions and potential actions within her mind. She stopped, staring into the glowing orange vents before her. They pulsed slowly with a muted fire. It mirrored the burning fury in her soul and the throbbing pain in her chest, which still tortured her with every beat of her heart. She ground her teeth together, unsure whether she wanted to fully embrace her seething rage or try to keep it at bay. What was even the point of keeping it at bay, really? Saphira, please, Malthus complained, stopping and turning to watch her indecision. She continued to blankly stare ever deeper into the fiery vent, letting the flame-like glow burn into her vision and consume her turbulent thoughts. Lightning flashed again, illuminating the florist. there's a red florist in the
Oh
background,
no.
illuminating the forest with a blinding white glow for an instant before fading to darkness once again. Instantaneously, the deafening crack of thunder sounded as well, echoing off the mountains and distant city wall. The rain continued to beat down on Saphira's head, irritating her even further as the water flowed down her back and soaked her clothes, along with literally everything else she still owned. Everything else she once had was now a crumbled pile. Everything else she'd once had was now crumbled in a pile of rubble in the remains of a godforsaken street. Everyone she'd once known had been taken from her too, save for the slim possibility of her family. It was all the magistrate's fault, all of it. The city, the deaths, and they had enjoyed it. There hadn't even been a hint of remorse in Storm's gleeful face as she had prepared to crush Saphira into the ground. Saphira's chest began to ache still more as she huffed angrily, still staring hypnotically into the reflection of her inner fire. The rain continued to pound in her ears, blocking out the sounds of her nagging doubts and egging on her cries for vengeance. It felt wrong to give up and run without even trying to fight for the memory of her whole childhood, of those she lost. Surely she couldn't just leave behind the ruins of her home so easily without some meaningful revenge? Hey, Melthius gently began tugging the blast cannon out of her hands. She clutched it strongly with both hands, refusing to let go, even as she continued to stare into infinity, mind lost in thoughts of anguish and murder. She didn't want to be talked out of it. She wasn't sure what it was that she wanted to do yet, but it was something close to raining down fury upon the magistrate and making them pay for every cruel deed they've done. Sparks began to
Dang.
flash their way along Saphira's neck again as she felt her anger still growing.
What gives them the right? How could anyone deserve what they did? Malthus calmly lifted the cannon with one hand and carefully pried Saphira's fingers off of it with his others. Others? Oh no, how many hands does he have?
Oh no! No way, other. It just says other.
I know, I said others.
I
It's like,
know.
oh no.
Do you have a hand?
He has so many. Despite having been defeated, she still clenched her hand tight, digging her claws into Malthus's hand.
Oh,
Hands.
cute.
He patiently allowed this to continue as he set the gun down and moved it out of her vision, though his face did not betray whether her grip was hurting him. She still did not relent her targetless gaze, but rather lowered her eyebrows dangerously, still glaring at the ground ahead of her with a fury that could have probably intimidated a missile. She didn't care what the odds were. Don't tell her the odds. The magistrate would soon see that they were not as untouchable as they supposed. She didn't have a plan, but she had a purpose. Her storm of emotions and frustration continued to increase, pulling in more and more of her mind, fueling itself with every minor inconvenience and major insecurity she'd ever suffered. Her grief, her rage, her pain, her shortcomings, all of it only served to strengthen the existential collapse occurring within her. She was feeding the fire, working herself up into a mindless frenzy, and she didn't care. With every beat of her heart, the throbbing pain in her chest only amplified her emotions, increasing the bottled pressure she'd been holding onto for so long. The growing pain focused her and served as a lightning rod for her rage to explode through. Her heart was beginning to beat faster and faster, preparing for war as her breath quickened as well, torturing her chest with the same sharp fire she wished the magistrate could feel.
I know that look, Malthus commented sadly, crouching down to put himself directly in line with her piercing gaze. If her eyes could shoot lasers, Malthus would be dead by now, but he still remained, looking sadly into her eyes. That's the look he gets when he's about to lose control, Malthus
Oh,
mourned,
shoot.
adjusting his hand so that her clutching claws would stab him less. Yet he still allowed her to squeeze his hand hard, almost as though she were trying to crush it like a badly chosen stress ball. Electricity crackled ferociously at her jaw. Even though her stomach was empty of lightning, her sheer willpower and intense emotion was enough to sustain powerful arcs of blue energy as they leaped along her face and throat. She felt like a branch that had been bent to the limit and was creaking and splitting, just on the verge of breaking completely.
My family is dead. There's nothing left to lose.
Please don't be like him, Malthus pleaded, reaching towards her clawing grasp with his other hand. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you with what I said. Please don't do anything stupid. That's my job, remember?
Uh-huh. Be like who? Saphira growled, finally snapping her vision out of her trance and locking furious eyes with Malthus. Her seething gaze still held the harnessed rage of 1,000 suns, serving as a window into the hurricane in her head. Malthus looked apologetic and almost heartbroken, opposing her glare with sad green eyes. He faltered at her question, hesitant to answer.
Drogo's my father, Malthus replied quietly. Saphira blinked, amused by his answer.
Sounds like a compliment to me. Saphira smirked with her eyes still radiating anger, almost recreating the cruel sneer of Storm. She tried to pull her hand away, only to find that Malthus was protectively cradling her clenched her
Fish!
fish,
You could fit a whole fish in that mouth!
her clenched fist between his hands.
No. When he loses himself, it's scary. It's like he becomes a different person, transforms into sheer force of nature.
Sounds powerful. I like it, Saphira growled, lightning crackling in her throat. She could feel her empty stomach lurching to summon forth more lightning as well, to match the lightning flashing round in her face, sparking in rhythm with her beating heart and the knives in her chest and the pounding in her head. The large raindrops fell from leaves and beat down on top of Saphira's head, opposing the discordant throbbing of Saphira's brain within and the inferno in her eyes. It was both agony and laser-focused power, lost in a raging sea of conflicting thoughts, rising to an incomprehensible, uncontainable crescendo.
Is this mental health?
She has issues.
Oof. You don't understand. He becomes a monster, and it's hard for him to come back from it. Or it's hard for him to come back out of it most of the time. Sometimes he even hurts people he cares about. Malthus relayed, face still twisted in grief. Ooh, I don't know what happened to his mom, but
Uh-oh.
ooh.
Yikes.
At least it wasn't as bad as Ian getting a knife chucked in his face for no reason.
True.
Oof.
Oh no.
Face still twisted in grief. Sophia frowned as she tried to parse what Malthus was saying, slightly hindered by the rage clouding her mind. He lets his anger be the master of him instead of the other way around. I don't want the same thing happening to you, he decided, still holding her hand tightly. She jerked back her hand, trying to pull it free from the cage of Malthus's fingers, but he held firm. He was being gentle enough not to hurt her, but he certainly was strong enough to keep her in place if he wanted to. Lightning zapped across her nose again, accentuating her menacing death glare. Please, he had insisted, desperation in his voice. I know you're hurting, so am I. But this isn't going to solve anything. Let's go see if we can find your family, and then we can go from there, alright? He requested, looking rather desperate.
I'm getting Loki flashbacks.
What from? What part?
From the girl having anger issues and the guy being like,
Ooh.
"No, stop!"
Stop, stop, no murder, no murder right
Avoid
now.
stop.
Murder later.
Saphira considered suspiciously, feeling doubt seep into her mind. Was she doing the right thing? Did the whole magistrate deserve to be brought low? Or were there others like Tom and Samuel? Was there any hope that her family was fine after all? No, they were surely dead. No sense in building up false hope only to have it dashed and have to lose them all over again. What was even the point in entertaining the possibility? Then again, she couldn't despair and run off without checking, should she? Her sparks began to falter in the fire, and her eyes dimmed slightly as she breathed heavily, continuing to cause her chest to shriek in pain, which Saphira ignored in favor of trying to maintain her blind rage. Was it worth dying just to prove a point? Would she actually be able to accomplish anything before being killed? Or would it all be for nothing? After all, she was only one person against a formidable adversary. She had almost died earlier that day when encountering only one person. How could she possibly hope to achieve this alone? A strong headache began to seep into the back of her head as her anger began to ebb away, replaced with self-doubt and sadness. She grasped at it, trying to keep hold of her powerful fury before it gave way to a timid mess. She met eyes with Malthus again, emotions conflicted. I... I... Saphira trailed off, not even sure what she had been trying to say. Her stomach was tied in knots of negativity, her head pounded, her chest throbbing with horrible pain. Her mind was reeling, her teeth were sparking, and her head was shaking between... Her hand was shaking between Malleus's.
Did you say her
And
teeth were? Why did he take her teeth?
no, her teeth were sparking, and
Oh.
I said her head, but her hand was
Oh,
shaking
okay.
between Malleus's. He's just, what are you, an idiot?
Oh no.
As her intense anger began to drain away, she suddenly felt like her knees were jelly, and her head was light as the weightless storm cloud, swirling inside it. She stumbled, suddenly realizing that she was extremely tired, as though her rage had consumed every bit of energy she had, leaving her weaker than a slice of bread in the rain.
She is an idiot
Stars,
sandwich.
stars began to creep into her vision, and she felt like she was drowning in the rain that still poured down on her from the heavens. Had she actually blown a gasket in the brain? Was this what dying felt like? She gasped for air, causing her ribs to cry out in pain again and stop her lungs short from fully expanding, leaving her still feeling faint.
Are you okay? Malthus asked concernedly, trying to offer support as she began to fall to the ground. She could feel herself falling backward, but also felt like she was no longer in control of her own body. She felt far away again, as though her mind was drifting away into the darkness, finally leaving behind the immense stabbing pain in her chest. Malthus yanked her hand forward, fear flashing across his eyes, but Saphira was too far away and too tired to care. Her vision was disappearing entirely, and there was nothing left to see. She was falling, and falling, and then there was black.
The drama.
Wah!
Okay, chat, what's going on?
Man. She just gave herself a panic attack or something and died.
Yeah, more like a anger attack than
Yeah.
died.
Mhm.
But I'm interested to see the next chapter because she just passed out, and so he's obviously gonna know something's wrong, and that means it's gonna be cute. So, haha.
Seb says, if Sylvie has 1,000,000 haters, then I am one of them. If she has 10 haters, then I am one of them. If she has only one hater, then it is me. If Silver has no haters, then I am no longer on the earth.
If the world loves Sylvie, then I'm against the world. Till my last breath, I will hate Sylvie.
My dude just went on a soliloquy.
That was so good.
That was brilliant. He's a sick Shakespearean man.
She is a little much, I will admit that.
Who says this? Oh, Sylvie? Yeah.
Yes, she's a lot.
Samway says, how did she get knives in her chest? They're metaphorical knives. Smiles at use of a metaphor. Fish? Several fish? Encapsulation
Samwise says,
complete.
wait, you're Indiana, Ian? Seb says, Indianian and Indian are very different things.
Wow, that's so cool. You can speak 2 languages. Very, very fancy. Wish I could do that.
Nice, that
I
is
can
cool.
only do like some Spanish, but like it's bad.
I am better at Spanish than EA.
Well, you have done it 5 years more recently than I have.
True, yes.
I
And
had
how
5 years
did
to
you
forget everything while you were still learning.
did you take up to Spanish 4 or no?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I think so. I don't even remember anymore. I think I did. It's been a while though. I didn't have to do anything with it. Even a smack dabble dust molecule of Sylvia is too much.
Seb
That's
says, hey, puts hand on shoulder, the mouthiest riz.
Huh?
The Maltese Riz.
Is this when was this message sent?
I don't
Let's
know.
see.
I'm just scrolling.
Oh, okay. Malthus Riz. She's the one who's sparking though. She's gonna zap him.
hmm
Part of that comes from the D&D campaign because we decided that since she's a blue dragon that can breathe lightning, anytime she kisses him, it zaps him.
Oh.
Little taser. Electroshock therapy. He's
How
conditioned.
much of a zap?
Not enough to hurt, I guess. I don't know.
That's cute.
You do know what Risby? I know what Risby. I just was looking for the message and couldn't find it. I wanted to read and understand for myself, but alas.
My friend can do Spanish, Finnish, and Russian. He's only 17. Whoa.
Whoa! I wish I could do Finnish. Connecting
Yeah,
with
that'd be
my
cool.
Viking ancestors.
I know a little bit of Russian, and I know a decent amount of Spanish.
Mm, mm.
And I kind of know English.
EJ got that Riz. That rat Riz. No!
Oh,
No!
oh,
I misread it. Realized I misread it. I wish I had continued to misread it. How
the
dare
rat
you?
riz.
No, if anything, call me a scaly. I don't know. I like not just like the appearance, but like I need a girl who's like nice and stuff like this. You know, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
What are you saying? Uh-huh.
This like this face, you know, like the encouraging, drawing out, encouraging you to be a better man, that kind of thing. I don't know. Not so
Oh, that's
much
cute.
the actual like fury incarnate that we just read in this chapter. She'll move past that. She'll heal in time. But, I
He
don't
was
know.
cute about it, though. He was being helpful and patient.
Hmm. That is good. I'm glad. I'm glad he does not appear as annoying Mary Sue, who's got it all figured out or whatever.
Yeah. Seb says, of course you know what Riz is. When you were 13, you rizzed up every single lady in your novel. I mean, autobiography.
Oh no. What a story. What a story
Like
that was.
champagne? Yeah, he rizzed up champagne.
Champagne. Hmm.
Who is better, Gwen or Erica? I think Erica was like straight up abusive or something, right?
No, that was Gwen.
Oh,
And
really?
for
I can't
some
remember
reason,
which
people
was
kept
which.
shipping more with Gwen, even though she was the objectively most toxic between the two.
Yeah. Didn't she like want to kill the other one or something?
I think, yeah, that may have been implied that she wanted to, like, murder Erica. Oh boy.
That was his Gwooper Weejay superiority.
No, no, no.
Because Erica was a little wuss.
Oh, wow.
I do remember that now. Yeah, it was Erica who was like, "Oh, what would EJ do? Oh, he would teach
That's.
me how to
Oh
plan
my
a battle
freaking
in my head. Oh,
gosh,
I'm
that
dead
was
now."
so terrible.
That was so bad. What a simp.
If you stop to think in a battle, you die. That's how it
Yep.
works. Uh,
I planned out battle strategies in my brain, exactly how I would defeat everyone.
so I guess those who appreciate the abusive more than the nice would support Sophia in anger murder mode instead of
Oh boy.
healed, more healthy version. Oh dear. Who is Gwen and who is Erica? Both of those are from the story that I wrote when I was 11. Um, EJ had, or Super EJ, the main character, self-insert, who was terrible of that story, had a little harem going on.
No.
It was terrible. Nobody could resist his masculine charm at 11 years old.
Seb says
It's
Erica literally had the
1200 abs.
worst few moments, but Super EJ in place of Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Oh,
my
that's
gosh, it's
so
so
funny. She needs
cringe.
a WWE D bracelet.
It's so cringe.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no. Oh, I was thinking Gwen from Spider-Verse. Nope, not that. No, not that at all.
She would probably be way better.
I feel like I remember way too much about Super EJ. Yeah. Honestly, I don't remember all that much from those streams anymore. It was too long ago. I've forgotten a lot of.
I remember that the
the
jetty
details.
roasted the pharaoh into oblivion and then had a stroke.
We are waiting for you to die.
It was
He
so
goes
good.
hard.
We are waiting for you
You've
to
watched it
die.
20 times now because it's good background from when you draw it. Whoa,
Oh my
that's
goodness.
awesome. That's
You're an
dedication.
expert on the Super EJ
Yeah,
verse.
you need to teach us. You need to like be a
Yeah.
scholar of the universe. You can like tell us what the rest of it was that we were supposed to be confused about. You can reveal the
Are
secrets
you
of what was going to
confused
happen.
yet? Good.
I think it's really funny. Yay, I'm glad some enjoyment comes out of my work when I was 11. It's not the intention that my 11-year-old self had in terms of how it was meant to be enjoyed, but I'm glad it's still being
Worth it.
yes, exactly. It still brings joy to the world. It's
Man, I would like to
it's
watch it again, but it's just
super.
such a massive time commitment.
Yeah,
Like it works if you have a hobby like drawing where you can listen to something, but like when I'm editing videos, I can't really listen to anything else except music that obviously stands out, but listening to my own voice while editing my voice would not work.
yeah, yeah. Enjoyment.
True.
Super EJ like a version of EJ who ate one too many soups.
Soup.
Can Super EJ be its own fandom? I mean, if you like Super EJ, then yeah, I guess it is.
Feel free to write fan fiction.
Please do not write. I mean, you can write Super EJ fan fiction. We will all laugh at it because Super EJ is such a. If you make Super EJ better, like if you make a version of it that is better, then wow, it might actually be worth paying attention to. You know what I mean? That I like crashed seven trains of thought into each other. I'm so sorry. That just sounded bad. It sounded like I was being mean somehow. I don't know what I'm saying. Super EJ better than Superman. Mm.
My throat hurts from talking so much.
Mm.
You feel me?
Yes. Anyway, what I was trying to say earlier was like attraction to personality or like the never mind.
Huh?
Fever.
Oh. Are you actually getting sick? Do you have fever?
I think I'm getting sick. I feel like I might be developing fever. I don't know. Either way, I'm tired and my brain hurts. What time is it? 10:46.
10:46.
Maybe this should be the only chapter for now because wow,
I
I'm
agree, because for some
nonsense.
reason, like, reading hurts my voice more than just talking normally. I don't know why.
Hmm. Simmer says, EJ, can I be mad at you for yawning, please? I need to be angry right now. Why do you want to be angry at me? I just.
Because Saphira wants to be angry.
Oh. Simmer is severe confirmed. Oh no, EJ's sick. Oh. I mean, yeah, I'm getting that way. We'll see how I feel in the morning. I might not even
Oh
go to
no,
work.
Seb is. I think he's copy and pasting his original comment about Super EJ. I love Super EJ. Oh no, it's going too fast. As I am his biggest fan, I must ask, how dare you insult the writing of this great piece? You are clearly not its demographic. Or perhaps you are not bright enough to understand the symbolism, writing features, or cultural impact this story has brought upon our world. I think biased critics such as yourself are dull as ungreased peanut butter.
Why
Miles
would
had
you
used
grease
formally.
that peanut butter?
and that you and all go heck yourselves, as you do not understand the greater picture that is reflected through the author's choice of writing style. I agree wholeheartedly, Seb.
That started off like a. To be fair, you have to have a pretty high IQ to understand this Rick and Morty, but then it just like devolved into peanut butter, and I don't know what's happening. Why you need
Smiles that you
angrier? EJ literally did the woo thing. What did I just see?
He did what?
I just I did the like Mr. Stark. Um,
Oh.
um, he's an adult. I'm scared of him. Everything I do is wrong. I'm sorry. I'll just have to stop being here. Stop being alive.
Oh boy.
I'm tired. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this chapter. We only got through one this time. Who knows how many more streams lie ahead of us? But that was part 7 out of 15. So that was just barely not the midpoint. We are now at the midpoint. Chapter 8 is the midpoint. And
It.
it, it, it. That's a cult I haven't thought of in a long time.
Yeah,
But I
why
look
did that
forward
even
to next
happen?
week. I hope to see you all then. We shall have good times and fun stuff and good thoughts that have more coherence when I am not brain dead. Um, Hope you all have a good life. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm so
Good
sorry.
life.
Good life. Yep.
Lovely.
God bless. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Don't be racist, as we've learned. I don't know.
Don't
What
be
other
racist.
good lessons can we get? Don't let go of your anger, and
Oh
your
boy.
journey towards the light side will be complete. Guess I can't do drama class today. Oh, are we talking about the role play
Oh
stuff that
no.
keeps popping up in the chat? Oh boy. Superhero is the superhero that nobody wanted, but they didn't know they needed. Oh my goodness. Oh dear.
Thank you. God bless. Love you, but not EJ. He was scary, man.
What did I do to you? I mispronounced your name and it has just devolved into absolute insanity. I can't do anything to make you happy anymore.
Oh
I
my
don't.
gosh, Seb.
What do you say?
Seb said, "Don't be racist. Don't look at my Discord pronouns." And I just looked, and it's Ray/cis.
What?
My
No,
gosh.
we are not going to. Our community is not going to contribute to the problem that the rest of society is. Okay, we're gonna be better.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
don't be race. I did the uwu pose. Who does the uwu pose? I did it as a joke. I don't even know it. Is that an uwu pose? Is that even what it's called? Oh my goodness.
We have learned applies to our
Oh
life
my
today. God has a lot to say in his book. Does QWERTY have a verse for us today, Ethan?
Child memory unlocked. I did not remember that at all. Wow.
I just saw the comment. I had to sing it.
Yeah, good stuff. Simmer says, also guys, I'm Saphira, thank you for that. I like being furry. I think technically it's called being a scaly, it has scales instead of fur. Except,
True.
strangely, apparently the Malthuses' kids have weird, is this like spines or feathers or, I don't know. Jury's still out on that. Unclear. uh, my brain is like slowly shutting down.
Slowly shutting
T
down.
minus 10. No, I'm not
Oh
racist. I'm
no.
just Ray and also cyst in that order with no breaks in between.
Oh boy.
I find that one so funny.
Are you okay?
Not at all.
Cool, just
Oh,
wondering.
you are a cyst that, like,
Oh
if you
no.
pop it, just rays of sun come out.
No.
Oh boy. All right. I'm gonna go to bed now and sleep, and then maybe wake up, and then
Oh,
maybe not. I don't
cool.
know. We'll find out. Have a good night, everyone. Love you
Good
all.
night, everybody.
I'm so sorry for subjecting you to all this nonsense. I'm